back. You are watching VCT Game Changers APAC Open 1, and we are in the second match of our first day of the playoffs. Mika Fabs and Zach back once again on the panel, and this time we have RRQ, Kagura, and one of my favorite teams, just because of the name alone, the Capybara Gang.
Capybara Gang and I completely agree. I love their names, but we did talk a little bit about this when we were touching upon Sapphire. I think that Kagura, I think for this particular tournament, these are my top three. Yeah, maybe you can quote me wrong. There might be people who can overcome it, but yeah, I would have to say that strongest looking teams right now out in this playoff stage is going to be SMG, Sapphire, as well as Kagura. And I think Kagura's benefits mainly come from being the core of the Alter Ego roster last year. They got signed by RRQ this time, good for them, but they are missing that one key piece, because while they have picked up Best, who I believe is a great player on that flex role, they don't have a Neri anymore. And I think the question that all of us are asking ourselves is, how good is that Alter Ego core without the powerhouse that is a Neri?
Exactly. The spotlight is definitely on RRQ Kagura, because we do know that they are the former queens. They're the former Alter Ego Celeste, and they were the queens of the scene up until Sapphire, swept up the final win from them. And we already know what this team is capable of. But again, can they do it without a Neri? And can they achieve that same glory without one of their biggest guns? That's a huge question. And it's ironic, Zach, that this is kind of like same but different with our earlier match, another David and Goliath story that we have here between RRQ and the Capybara Gang, because as you can see, very very names over here on the side of RRQ, and not to mention they're also carrying that name from one of the big franchise teams that we have here in APAC for this season.
Yeah, 1 out of 2 here, the second being Global Esports. But yeah, talking about RRQ Kagura, very talented core. Ayumi, Aluka, both of them have proven to be extremely cracked so far. Natsuki, really fun story. She started off as this team's manager and now is going to be playing in that position. And they also picked up Best as well. But talking about Capybara Gang, I think you'll recognize some familiar names. I think that, I believe Isnegi was playing last year for a couple of teams. But aside from that, I think Nuki is also going to be on this roster. This is a fully Thai roster, a lot of talent coming out from that particular region as well. Because like Sapphire, they're from the same region as Sapphire. And I think that seeing how cracked they were in that previous game, I have high hopes for Capybara Gang. I definitely hope that, this team is able to do a better job against the side of Kagura than what we saw in that previous one against Sapphire, for sure.
Well, we'll see. Like you mentioned, and like we were discussing, of course, behind the scenes, this team is a bit of a mystery. But interestingly enough, they have actually been able to hold their own against some pretty big names in the Swiss stage, right? So it's alright, because there's this really big question mark alongside this adorable Capybara. But right now, we are heading into Fracture, Pearl, and possibly a set. So we do know that RRQ they are pretty comfortable on a set as well, but they are not invincible here. Capybara Gang again, big Capybara holding a big question mark. Still a mystery for most of these maps.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. They're testing upon Kagura. I mean, they played Fracture once against Orangutan and they managed to pull off a pretty convincing victory. It was close, 13-10, but Orangutan, I would say, is one of those mid-tier teams. In fact, stronger looking teams heading into this matchup, considering that they have their core intact from last year as well. So that's definitely a good start to the side of RRQ Kagura. Pearl, though, that's very interesting, because it is going to be a pick by RRQ. It's a pick that it seems like a lot of teams are still kind of like trying to find their footing on. RRQ have played it 4 times over the course of this particular event, and they've unfortunately lost it, I believe, to the side of Sapphire. This is one of those maps that they did take into overtime, the double overtime or triple overtime, if I'm not wrong. So they have proven to have like a really good track record on it, and they lost out against one of the strongest contenders in this playoff series. So all things considered, definitely looking good for them.
I am excited for Pearl, just because like being one of the quote-unquote newer maps, it does offers a lot of room for innovation for a lot of these teams. So I'm excited to see what they can bring in that, especially since it was their map pick. But first up, we are heading into Fracture, another exciting map that we have here, especially with these two teams. One a big question mark, and one that we have seen do a lot of great things here at VCT GC APAC. And right now we are seeing an Asian select coming on in, and one of our big questions was whether Ayumi or Aluka would probably be on Duelist. It looks like my question is answered. Aluka, going over to Killjoy and Ayumi picking up the Neon. So this is gonna be really, really exciting because I know that they do alternate a little bit, like sometimes on Duelist, and then somebody will play maybe Initiator. But this dynamic is gonna be I think a little something new.
Yeah, I was definitely looking forward to seeing this as well because last year, Aluka was kind of forced onto the controller role. In her previous time on Nigma Galaxy, she was always that Reyna player or at least that duelist player at the very least. But, it's been a little bit of role changes with the teams, with the new player coming in and everything else figuring it out on both of these sides, right? Like Yuki was also a Reyna main and now she's on that flex initiator role. But now that we have the agent comps ready, I think that we are ready to throw it to our casters for today. So Dax and Terror, take it away.
A daunting, perhaps, maybe an impossible task here for the Capybara gang as they look to set their gaze towards RRQ Kaguya. And we are moving now into our second match, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here with Game Changers. I'm Dax here with TRR, and this is going to be an incredible one. We saw a while ago Sapphire defeat the opposition in 2-0 fashion. Will it be the same case for the team formerly known as Alter Ego Celeste? RRQ Kaguya, a powerhouse that has been established in the Game Changer scene, facing off against, I'd say, some plucky underdogs here for the Capybara gang who made waves in the Swiss stage there, Terror.
I would say they even surprised us even on the Swiss stage, right? So we can definitely see that at some point, at some degree here in Game Changers, there are just certain teams that would suddenly pop out moving forward and going up against experienced teams like RRQ, for example, which has a lineup that's basically core players coming in from Alter Ego Celeste. So I'm excited to see what will be up here, but I just talked to Aluka the other day.
Yeah.
And apparently, she wants to press W because at the same time, she already wants to go move forward and get her revenge arc against Sapphire.
Oh, that's a long way to the bracket.
Right?
They still need to win their next round anyway. So already RRQ Kaguya looking forward to the future. And as you can see, I think the biggest question right now is, where is Inari? She's not here.
When is Inari playing?
Well, that's a good question. We will answer perhaps in another open. But Bess has been such a stable pickup here for RRQ Kaguya, especially from the Zone Rapid days, if I'm not mistaken, making it all the way to, I believe, 3rd or 4th place in that elite tournament. Here we go though with Yamroll finding Bess to begin with. Capybara gang. There's a lot of hype for the squad with a name like this. 2 for Capybara gang already. The tower take allowing them position behind the side, but it's Natsuki and Ayumi prepared to just keep things held. Yumi's the only one left. Caught out by Ayumi yet again, and RRQ Kaguya draws first blood.
This is what's fun about pistol rounds. You just never know who's gonna win. It might be a 4v1, it might be a 4v3 or 4v2, but in the end, you just can get surprised what will happen. And looking at it as well, Capybara gang, they went in onto the side quickly, as quick as they can be, but in the end, when it comes to the trade-offs, it's just too overwhelming for them as well, and they had to plant a spike. Too much pressure. RRQ settling the deal immediately right off the bat, making a 1-0 scoreline. And I was wondering, like, why do we have to keep finding Inari? There's a spotlight between Ayumi, Aluka, mind of a duelist kind of player put onto a Sentinel can also be a big factor. I really feel like it's gonna be more onto that later on.
Yeah. I think it opens up a lot of possibilities for even more roles here from RRQ Kaguya, especially as the panel mentioned some swaps around between Ayumi and Aluka, especially. This is something they've run though versus Orangutan in the Swiss stage. So really for RRQ Kaguya, it's more of the same and do it better. Aluka finding Yuki to begin with. Capybara gang gonna be struggling right now on the full eco state, but their name says it all. They're ready to fight as a unit, Theodore. And if you believe in the Capybaras, you're gonna make this push happen. Iceberg, though, hunting them down to extinction. Izzy goes down, and from this point on, it's just easy picks for RRQ Kaguya for the flawless round.
A flawless round indeed is what we're gonna be getting from RRQ, but at the same time, you have to think about it. It was a good effort coming in from the Capybara gang, especially in these kinds of pistol rounds where the other team can't spray you down. It's way better to have that initial pick off, and then you can get trades after trades, especially you're just having classics onto your hands. Anyway, good execution yet again from RRQ on the defense here, and we are about to see round number 3, where the players of Capybara gang this time around has the guns.
Yeah, Capybara gang. This is an interesting pick, by the way. I haven't really seen them play this in the Swiss stage. And maybe this is the first time really running it, so it's probably scrims that have allowed them this kind of confidence. You look at their composition though, you got that Breach, you got the Brimstone. It's that standard execute, and especially with the Raise and Fades together. So a lot of combos. Very important for Capybara Gang right now, but he's the only one there towards tower. Aluka, the woman here, just keeping an eye out as much as possible. Protecting the land. Izzy though finding Aluka in response. Opens up the site here for Capybara Gang in pretty convincing fashion.
Spike planted.
Yeah, actually, taking it on the side completely and preparing for that post-plant position. And again, RRQ just waiting for the smokes to dissipate onto the site. As the wall comes out from the Neon, we are expecting the push coming in from Ayumi, but caught off guard is going to be Ayumi instead. Peachy to go down, but Best to get the double here. Nuki for the trade. It's a 2v2 situation, fighting for that post-plant position. Prowl around for them, Nuki to get on the kill and go for the triple kill. Capybara Gang is doing it, ladies and gentlemen.
Taking a round away from RRQ Kaguya, making sure there is a stain on that record immediately. And I love the fact that Capybara Gang is just fighting, vying for that tower. That can be something to watch out for moving forward. They did it in the pistol a while ago. They did the same here with that pressure towards Arcade. And you can see for Capybara Gang, they are so prepared with combos of utility to just press RRQ Kaguya out of nowhere. It just seems so stabilizing right now for Capybara Gang. Now RRQ Kaguya, decent bonus. They move on with the rifles. And I do wonder what their plan is to get away from things like the Fade Raise, things like the Breach Brimstone. Yumi might be the one to watch out for that regard.
Yumi just waiting patiently onto A main. Alongside with Nabsky, you could really see the buddy system that's been going on. But so far, this aggressive positioning or changes on the positioning is as well from Ayumi. Being stunned like that or even being caught by a Prowler can be scary. Look at this position, Dax. 3-man ready to swing. And here we go, Ayumi again going for the stunts here. A little bit off a blind coming in as well from the rest of the team. It's still a 4v3. It's still a fight towards that control on A main. Here we go as Ayumi shuts down one. Izzy will go for the trade. It's still a 3v2, Dax.
She's throwing the gun at them. That's pretty whack. It's pretty wild. But beyond that, though, I do agree with you. Just the strikeout made, the strike zone created by RRQ Kaguya, so prepared for Capybara Gang. And it seems like that's the problem. If their Capybara Gang is going to force things out like that, they have to deal with the numbers
30
and the
seconds
setup
left.
itself of RRQ. 2 left now, moving towards Sands, especially running out of time. And you can see for RRQ that they're so prepared on site. Second floor there for Iceberg. Best in position down below even. One fault line ready, just doesn't even need it. Sprays it down, takes him down. RRQ with a double kill to end it on a high note, and that's 3-1 in favor of the defense.
Such a good reset coming in from Iceberg. The fact that she already swinged out of the positioning and actually trying to go look at another direction and still managed to come back that quick onto where she was looking. It's just pretty cool to watch. But anyway, RRQ 3-1 it is. And so far for Capybara Gang, especially on the round where they got the round, or basically where they got the 3-1 scoreline or 2-1 a while ago, seems promising, I would say, Dax, especially coming in from game number 1 a while ago. And now we're finally seeing those important trades.
I'm liking the map control they have towards that B site. Maybe later on they'll figure out how to play Dish, but yeah, roll desperate to try and find an angle there with the blast packs.
Part of the plan, Dax. Part of the plan.
All part of the plan. Frontline shorty. Let's see what this is gonna go with. But the adjustment here from RRQ, so well researched. They back away from the tower, knowing the fact that there's gonna be presence and Aluka ready to receive. Peachy goes down. Izzy though, nice shot on the lurk towards main. It's 4v4. Problem though for Capybara Gang is since they don't have the firepower and the angles here for RRQ Kaguya are prepared for the site itself, they're gonna have to back on the way into those sight lines that RRQ are stationed in.
That crossfire has to hurt for the side of Capybara Gang, but yet again, still a 3v4. Anything can happen, but Izzy though, going out from, or swinging out from B main, will be caught off guard. They still know there's someone onto tower here. They all know the locations of the players. It's just a matter of time as everyone swings out. RRQ settles the deal, making things 4-1.
RRQ again, they understand how Capybara Gang is looking to play a map like this, how they're gonna go for the rotations. And it feels like the only weakness right now here for RRQ is if they get caught out with basically them still prepared for it. That tower control you can sometimes give it up if you know that's gonna be the siege point here for Capybara Gang, and especially when you know that the raise is coming your way, you know when the fate is coming your way. Those are agents that are so effective at punishing you and playing CQC. But how RRQ can be mobile with that Neon especially, you don't really need to anchor as much as what you're used to in terms of tower, because you're always gonna have that reinforcements if a Yumi is prepared. And that's really one thing RRQ Kaguya is doing right now. Be a bit more active around the map and be more, I'd say, imaginative on where they can go for.
But honestly speaking, Capybara Gang is not too far off when it comes to presence play here on the map that we are looking at. And you can see that they have that confidence to swing out, try to take on a peak. Sometimes there might be mistakes, and as we all know, we are all humans in the end and by the end of the day, and everyone can do that or may be able to have that mistake. But yet again, you have to be really careful about those mistakes that the team can capitalize on, especially towards RRQ. Yet again, we're talking about experiences here, and it can be overwhelming from time to time. But what can be overwhelming as well is to take a look at the utility play of RRQ, especially on that retake capability. You can just never go wrong with 4 ults and 1 more orb to go for that orbital strike.
Yeah, they have so many ways to keep the pace going right now here for RRQ Kaguya. And it really begs the question, what else can Capybara Gang do right now to stop the firepower of RRQ? The plans are solid. I like the 4-1 splits we're seeing from Capybara Gang especially. And you can see players like Nuki, players like Yamroll, they're willing to clear out angles. They're willing to go for those pushes. There's that confidence from Capybara Gang, and especially how they're playing these executes. But of course, experience is still the better teacher. This RRQ Kaguya squad, we remember their win streaks from last year. We remember how they won pretty much all the opens as Alter Ego Celeste. And they're looking to just bring that same kind of performance back here this year, Taylor. They didn't make it to the international stage, upset there by Extend at the very end of the last year's Game Changer circuit. But this time, they want to make a case that this is their year.
We basically saw everything flashing right in front of our eyes when it comes to the RRQ Kaguya setup of the team that we have right now. But again, back to the game where everything is a little more quiet than usual. Playing for info right now, Haluka, knowingly that the Prowler is on to satellite, she might be seeing a raise combination, but knowing that there was a fault line from a breach, this gives them a glimpse rather of what agents is to come onto the side. Yamroll already pushing in here, just setting their foot onto the traps that is set by Aluka, but this looks to be a 5-man retake from RRQ.
The play over strike is the answer for RRQ Kaguya, using that as a distraction. Yuki, though, does not flinch, finds 2 for her troubles, and from that point on, it's all about that tower siege right now. Alaka moving through the doorway and trying to bust through these holes to open it up for RRQ. A second one for Alaka even. A chance perhaps now. Just playing the off angle, look for the rotations. It's a full fortification here from RRQ Kaguya. Everyone coming in through main. They lob the C's as well. Naps looking for an opportunity. But look what's happening to Gang. They're prepared, moving towards CT instead. Yamroll finding best. And the numbers now in favor of Capybara Gang. They have the angles, they have the opportunity, but Napski will steal those 2 kills away. Aftershock for the stall. And that's enough for Capybara Gang to take the round. There is some Moxie in this attacking side. And they're still putting RRQ to the test despite all these odds.
Delay. That's what the Capybara Gang is doing at that point. And it worked out wonderfully, especially on that post-plant take onto A side. They went on A without anything else bothering them, without any execution from RRQ. And when it comes to the post-plant positioning, I doubt that RRQ expected that there's just too much util as well preparing for that post plant. They didn't use the, I would say they didn't use aftershocks to clear out corners where RRQ might be. They were able to save up all those utilities just to play out the post plant positions that they have.
Really just goes to show though here for Capybara Gang, they also understand where RRQ can move around the map. And effectively, with Nuki there cleaning up that dish, and they realized that, oh, the majority or whoever was left from RRQ Kaguya was playing towards halls. They just took positions that RRQ used to have. They took away the space that RRQ could have assumed they were safe from. And that's really one thing right now you see from Capybara Gang. This squad, the results in the Swiss bracket speaks for itself, Taylor. Sure, I believe they're technically either our 7th or 8th seed right now, but they have had one of the most stacked runs to deal with. They faced
SMG?
off against Big Sight. You mentioned it. They faced off against SMG, and I believe they're the only team to 2-0 global esports. So this is a squad that is an actual, I'd say, dark horse. This is a team that looks to prove that they can fight with the best. And right now, even though we only saw a sample of a few rounds, they're really bringing it versus RRQ.
Exactly. And at the same time, when it comes to utility play, so far they've been performing quite well onto that. And aside from that, moving forward onto the rounds we're about to see, they have a lockdown, they have a showstopper, and again, this is a combination that truly hurts, and it's actually a pain to deal with. You have C's Pain Shells combination you have to deal with if they actually do it, because right now, so far on the attack, hasn't been really on that kind of synergy that we're looking at, but maybe more on the defense later on. But again, this is a type of composition wherein when you put this team on a defense, it also would be really difficult to go into.
I'd say it's suffocating, really. With
Exactly.
the amount of utility they're gonna have, there's still a bright future here for Capybara Gang. And I look at at this roster right now, and really one of the players that shows me a glimmer of star power here has to be Nuki. I believe she came from W Street Esports. They had a very good run in the LC Cube to put themselves in the lead. Lost out only to Alter Ego Celeste as well as Zol Meraki, and it's this kind of redemption team right now we're getting from the Thai side especially. We saw Sapphire do amazing in the other series. Here again, another Thai team looking to do battle for Capybara Gang. And effectively, these names are trying to prove that they are ready for this kind of level of play, ready to compete against some of the best teams we've had, like RRQ Kaguya. And just goes to show that there are glimmers of history right there to lead them to that kind of performance. Nuki being one example, but the fact that everyone's willing to play alongside each other, we're seeing really some good setups here from Capybara Gang right now that I'd say isn't that often for a relatively new team.
And at the same time, they're named Capybara, you know? What can go wrong, right?
Yeah!
Like,
I don't know why is the Capybara such a big thing again?
It went,
Where is
okay.
the hype coming
Are
from?
you on TikTok, Dax?
Of course not. I don't have one, but I just
Exactly.
heard.
That's
I
why
heard
you
the
don't
waves.
know about the hype. The Capybara is everywhere on TikTok. And by the way, I just researched about the top facts that Capybara has, you know?
I would like to subscribe to Capybara Facts. Give me text Capybara to 2366 real quick.
One fact about capybaras, they're agile in land and they're also agile in water. They can even sleep on water. And the next map is Pearl, dude.
Oh man, that makes all the sense.
Storyline just goes in my head,
It
man. I feel
writes
so smart.
itself. It's
I
like, you
know.
know, this is Capybara Gang's map pick though, Fracture, but sure. Water advantage later on.
Written on the
Get it?
script, dude.
My mind is blown.
Blown.
So since we're in the tech pause anyway, what sound does a capybara make?
I actually don't know.
Can you like read
I
that
don't,
for
and
me?
I also don't want to copy it on stream as well. I know where this is going, Dax. I've
you
worked
know-
long enough with you. The thing is, we're not working together, but I've worked long enough with you, you know? It's like a long time no see, but I just saw you 5 minutes ago.
We work in the same office, not the
Exactly.
same department, so we already know what's up, right? We know what's
I
going
know where
on.
this is going. I know what setup is this.
I'm gonna
You
report you
can't-
to our I'm gonna report you to our HR, our host later on, but
Our
In the-
HR department.
yes, on Team Mika, as they would say. But we are back into the game and back into the round. Look, RQ, very aggressive, looking to catch Capybara Gang napping here, Terror.
I know, right?
Bring them
But yet
down.
again, even if they sleep so much, capybaras still have to be awake. Do they?
I don't know. I don't know.
don't even know, man.
I can't believe he's still looped it. I think. okay.
Hey,
Okay.
It's a slow round. You gotta make the storyline and you gotta stick to the script. Okay?
I'm learning so much
Just-
about capybaras
see?
and Valorant.
See, just because you're here, you're learning more about capybaras. But yet again, more to learn onto the capybaras soon. Ayumi going in for the swing. And now with a stun, trying to really punish here the Rays. But yet again, Iceberg to take on a trade.
Repeat right there from Ayumi didn't pan out, but you could see the steam for cover. Iceberg holding the close angle even closer right now. This is a rolling thunder. Danger. Close dynamics Iceberg. And this will push Capybara Gang away. Time running out here for the offensive. It might just be a commit right now to move towards A site. And you can see RRQ getting prepared towards the objective itself. Crawl though towards hallway. Iceberg yet again, the one to watch out for. Best ready for cover, and Best has the orbital strike. So if this contact takes too long, especially with the lockdown right now, Capybara Gang, they're playing with time, and it's not gonna be on their side. Ready with the ultimate, ready with Best, letting it rip. Can Capybara Gang get the plat going? Absolutely not. This round is already over, and RRQ will take it away.
I don't think they realized that they had the orbital strike online, because they wouldn't take that long of a time, or yet again, they could have been stuck at some point at some degree. That's why not only do we go for those duels, but also you have to take a look at how the time pans out. Are you going to be able to reach the site and plant the spike, or would there be any certain utility play that could stop you literally on your toes? And that's exactly what RRQ did. They literally didn't need to swing at all. They just needed to use the orbital strike.
Yeah, the clock is not your friend if you're on the attacking side. And since we saw that early aggression from RRQ, it just threw Capybara Gang in for a loop. And speaking of now, Capybara losing one, losing two. RRQ feeling feisty this time. They realize that if Capybara Gang is gonna play the split and look for the set play, let's be aggressive. We have the Neon. We have players who are just absolutely good at hitting those shots. And one by one, Capybara falling. Yuki, though, at least ready to be that beacon of hope, fighting back towards Arcade. Has a spike in hand. A chance perhaps? No chance instead by RRQ.
Dude, the way Aluka plays, you know how typically a Killjoy plays out where the turret gets the first contact. But this time, it wasn't. She was the first contact before even the turret sees the enemy here. And again, a good anchor from Aluka's side. Not only that, but RRQ is really putting pressure onto the side, or rather onto the retakes here. Not even the retakes itself, but the flanks that we are looking at. Iceberg might have been caught off guard by Nuki, but the second time around, will it be the same?
I mean, look at where RRQ's pushing. This is the one lurk. This is the all-alone Killjoy. And you can see the fear immediately for Izzy. Where can she go? Inside the smoke, on the outside after. But she gets behind the Dazzle Pad now. Ayumi clearing. And didn't see the Killjoy whatsoever. Safe indeed, Terror. And from that point on, Capybara Gang loops around towards tower. And they open up the site. But here in the corner, Napsky will just steal your life away. Yamroll falling on over. Izzy looking for the punish, but Napsky's still alive. Instead now, RRQ hitting the shots yet again. Repositioning towards Arcade. Advantage in favor of RRQ's defense, sure. They flash Minecraft outside, back into the tower. She shall go, but here comes Iceberg, and down goes Capybara Gang anyway.
We crushed
Destroy,
it.
that's the RRQ way.
Celebrate?
They just know where to go, when to peek. And RRQ so far, a very dominating defense, especially right now. They're getting a little comfortable onto the map. They know that they could just push in. They know that they can be aggressive at certain angles, especially that you have Ayumi on the Neon. You can just expect fast rotations. That's why I'm a little bit worried when it comes to the decision of taking it slow for Capybara, because we all know that Fracture isn't that kind of a map.
Where are you? Bring them down.
Capybara Gang, they are trying to at least catch up with what RRQ is trying to do. But RRQ, as of now, they've taken the speed of this game to a whole new level. Refuse to let Capybara Gang set up the steps that they want to. Fault line into play already, looking to oppress that drop area. Lurk action, but Ayumi,
I'm out
one
of
more
here.
time, just hitting shots like that. It's a distinct gun advantage here for RRQ. But the consistency that they're winning these duels is what's really paramount right now in these kind of solo executions. The defense, nice shot though from Izzy, letting it rip. Another one perhaps, Ayumi on the other side though of the box. The repeats, they get very dicey in the end there, Terror.
I have to close my eyes sometimes whenever Ayumi really tries to peek yet again. Yamroll on the other hand, caught off guard. That's gonna be Ayumi down, but Napsky really anchoring onto the side. They didn't even notice her from behind, and Izzy to go down 8-2. RRQ so far on the defense. It looks to be intact. Those 2 rounds that Capybara Gang was able to take. seems to have diminished right now. The sparks of hope so far. It's been messy.
That's the thing. RRQ, they're just despair incarnate sometimes when you face off against them. You think you have a plan. You think you have a solid read on how the map works. And the way that Capybara Gang executed early on, there was that foundation. But RRQ just basically said, screw it. We're doing something else. We're going in, we're pushing. That's why you have a Yumi on that Neon. That's why you have someone like Aluka who's, even though on the Killjoy, you know her potential, you know her firepower. She's going to be willing to actually push it to the absolute limit. And you add into what Napski's been doing right now all throughout this game, controlling with many a close seizes. Prowlers on point, and the big intel to just completely figure out where the bulk of Capybara Gang are for. There is some key components right now that RRQ are able to capitalize on, not just because of their agent pool, but the players themselves, and that flexibility you see from the Game Changer circuit, and RRQ especially, it shows up right now for good reason.
And not only that, the decisiveness of the team as well really goes to show. Even a Yumi from time to time really goes for the wide swing, wide angles without any utility play. Just out in the open swinging and really confident that she's gonna be able to pick up the kill, and she actually does, you know? And the thing is, for Capybara Gang, they can expect that this would happen over and over again. They can make something out of it, but right now, again, a brand new round, again, aggressively from the side of RRQ.
Prowler comes on in, Best will back on the way. Smoke providing cover, but you can see Rolling Thunder immediately down roll though, hit by that, and this prevents the entry from Capybara Gang. Because of that Nano Swarm, they can't capitalize on that Rolling Thunder. There's the Molly 2, the stall potential from RRQ Unreal, and Riam roll up in the air, almost dead to right because of RRQ setup. Alaka though, good beginning, and the Nightfall now, perhaps to herald the end. Gets a bit of that intel. RRQ not in the right position actually, so they're gonna hang back and wait for Capybara Gang to expose themselves one more time. Speaking of exposition though, no sound, but all sides moving with the takedown.
Actually, they have a lockdown here, but Aluka to go down in the hands of my Creppy right now. Izzy trying to fight for their lives right now is Capybara Gang as they try to plant the spike, and RRQ is hearing everything about this. Izzy just waiting patiently on B main. A little bit of a stuck up on towards that Brimstone, but fighting again is gonna be Napski, and she's gonna win that fight. A Yumi to take down the last player remaining to go and defuse the spike.
The way that they're just able to hang back like that, the way that they're just able to assess the situation and know what the threat is. This is RRQ in a nutshell. The stall was so efficient, and they took advantage of small mistakes made there by Capybara Gang. Every single step they take in the wrong direction against RRQ, you know you're gonna be punished. And as of now, this is just a discipline yet again. Veteran leadership, and I'd say veteran calls from the teams we're seeing here on this stream especially. There's such a stark contrast with some of the newer teams we're getting right now in the playoffs, and as it goes, this is just the standard RRQ has always played in the Game Changer scene.
And as of this moment, as we are onto the last round of this first half, can be a 9-3 curse if there are any believers. But I just want to say, like, Yam Roll really literally accepted every utility that she could possibly get from that round a while ago. And she has to be really careful because soon as she tries to hop in on site, she was already 36 HP way before she even finds someone.
She was a hero, that's
oh my god,
an absolute trooper! But it's these Iceberg's still alive! Iceberg's into the corner and she peeked it out anyway! How do you find that small angle anyway to hit those takedowns? But Capybara Gang, they make it 3v3. Edge of despair, edge of death. Still RRQ able to equalize their terror.
Dax, that seize was perfect. That orbital strike was actually perfect as well. It just so happens for the players here of RRQ, seems like they just don't get phased with utility plays, you know? They know how to react upon onto it. They know how to fight it out. Again, a Yumi here, waiting patiently alongside with the Brimstone, really preparing for that post-plant take, or rather that retake onto the side and maybe even fight.
Begin with Prowler thrown over to Pitchy in response, and it seems like that Seize gets the hit on low HP, has to stay in cover. Ayumi looking to capitalize, and it's overcharge time, baby! Ayumi zaps one down. Izzy with a turret of all things, but in a 2v1, she's caught, she's found, and hit by the flames. The elements are in favor. of RRQ's side effectively made for a 10-2 scoreline. We are throwing it down to the panel. That last round was absolutely heated in a series like this.
That's the thing about having a Neon, you know, there's always that go, 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 and just Ayumi being able to zap everybody into oblivion. Welcome back. These are your panelists. I'm Zach, and with me here is the wonderful Mika, and we are here to break it down. And Mika, how would you describe that in a nutshell?
I just want to say that I really appreciate that last play that Capybara Gang tried to do with the C's and the orbital strike, because that was a Fnatic play if ever I saw one. I love the stress that they're trying to pull. But, you know, there's a lot of creativity from Capybara Gang. It makes me smile because, you know, it's so exciting to watch. However, the experience of RRQ just pulling through again, much like their match 1 counterparts from earlier, Sapphire, you can just really see that they are prepared to deal with these things. And you can see that the ideas are there from the side of Capybara Gang, but the execution doesn't quite follow through just yet.
I think that the one thing that I would like to commend Capybara on is that a lot of these rounds, they're actually getting quite close. They're able to trade out. They're not able to quite keep up with Kaguya's pace of the game, but nevertheless, they're able to sort of keep up. And that's just huge talking about the fact that this is a very new roster. They're still working on synergy, team dynamics, everything. So I think it's that individual talent as well as them, despite the relatively low amount of time, being able to kind of work together in sync. But talking about Kaguya, of course, I think the question that we were all asking ourselves was, what are they going to do without an area? It seems like so far, they're doing pretty well.
They're fine.
Alika, as well as Ayumi. Ayumi in particular stepping into that duelist role. Last year, you know, most of the time she was on that chamber, so we all know how well she can aim. But, you know, that dynamic movement coming in as well on that Neon, it seems like she's been putting in the work, and it's just been a pleasure to watch so far.
And absolutely love seeing Aluka and Nabsky as well. They are performing so well. And I always love it when duelists actually kind of take a backseat and take over the Sentinel role, just because there's some oomph to it as well. Like Sentinels, yeah, sure, you do tend to hang back by definition, but there's this little bit of like daringness and there's a little bit of like, you know, fearlessness that they do tend to take those duels, and they know that they can win. So that's what I see with Aluka, and that makes her such a good anchor. But we're gonna see how the rest of the game is going to play out as we toss it back to our casters.
Well, isn't that the word there? Dare and deny. RRQ Kaguya with such a streak there by the end, Sayror. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half. And RRQ, all the momentum after that first half. We go back to Pistols, and Capybara Gang do gotta wonder what their play is for this defense. How will they stop the RRQ onslaught?
Oh, exactly. We saw a Grey Wall defense coming in from RRQ's side, but it's completely a different story this time around. As we head in and step in to the second half of the game. Ayumi already taking control of Heaven right here. B Tower onto the side. They all go. It's just RRQ right now. Focus on the objectives here. Planting the spike and preparing for that post-plant position.
Yeah, I like that heat check, especially since they've seen Capybara Gang play tower so much. Do they expect that they're gonna still stick around there? With RRQ on the offensive already, the post situation. Aftershock thrown to prevent that push from Generator. And the stall yet again from RRQ looking effective. Capybara Gang, though, sieging towards the site itself. Tower now contested. Ayumi ready for that first contact. And it's just trade for trade, but Capybara Gang able to come out ahead. This time, though, the second wave, best of the time. Things like Pizzy already on the defuse. And Izzy, Trust Protector! Izzy trusted! And Izzy will do it for the team. The defense holds the retake.
Let's ruin their day.
Gang.
I love it when they just defuse the spike. I love it when they don't let go of that key and try to get the kills instead. You can see how much trust the player from Capybara has, the one defusing the spike, if I'm not mistaken, has complete trust towards the two remaining players on the rest of the team. RRQ, though, they were able to take the site, but yet again, Capybara knew better. They know that they can hold back and really wait for that retake instead of getting punished immediately left and right.
If you believe, right, you can achieve. And Capybara Gang, well, any Capybara fans in the chat, it's time right now to make your voices heard. That fade away from Minecraft, and even more so, one more time, she wanted to secure the kill for herself, Taylor. That's my takedown. That's my ult orb. And that's 2 already for Capybara Gang.
Gotta put it up in the scoreboard. Gotta screenshot it and send it to friends later on, you know? That's how I do it. guess, for myself, but it's still a 5v3 situation right now.
Hey, I love your screenshots of all
really?
the times you win.
Oh, yeah?
I'm a positive guy, don't you know? I love playing Valorant.
You like the screenshots I send, Dax, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great scorer when I see you pop off, but
Enemy remaining.
They're ready. Yeah, there's another one. That's clean. That's clean there, Terror. And let's be real, this is Capybara Gang showing that the foundations they had on the attacking side, the rotations they're willing to play, it's gonna happen here on the defense too.
They honestly do have a good foundation. Especially the important factor here to consider is really the trade-offs and being there to support your team and not playing alone, because literally this is a 5v5 game, you know? And at the same time, again, like we said a while ago, if you can play as a unit, you really have a big chance, especially against teams that are experienced as RRQ can be. But yet again, here we go on to another round, and this time, RRQ on a full pie.
Yeah, the bonus time here for Capybara Gang. One thing to watch out for, Pitchy has a judge, but unfortunately, since it's not that A site, it's RRQ already stationed there towards B. Tower taken and secured. Prowler thrown towards Iceberg as well as the plant goes down. Capybara Gang, such a difficult position to just wade through the smokes. Time taking RRQ. Looking to play post-plant instead. Support especially that tower hold from Navsky. Yamroll pushing towards the spike as well as main actually. So as RRQ in commit positions. Capybara Gang right now looking to flush them out. Prowler now gonna get thrown on over yet again. Slow on this retake, but Yumi draws the first kill there, and the RRQ now coming out of the woodwork to get these takedowns from afar. Can't use that judge whatsoever. Yumi on side and wants to at least find the frag for herself. 3v2 situation. The only call now for Capybara Gang is to get the hell out of there. This round will go in RRQ's favor. And it really was just that immediate take that worked out for them.
Seems to be a promising retake though coming in from Capybara. I really like the adjustment that they created here. They know that the players of RRQ are gonna play post-plant rather, and they wanted to put pressure on B main. They wanted to put pressure on Arcade, on Tower. And they were even able to push out Nabsky from her positioning. But yet again, up until the end, if you cannot take on the kills, there are still remaining players ready to get the kill if you defuse the spike. And time was, again, dwindling down in the hands of Capybara on that defense. Brand new round here as Yumi tries to go in immediately onto Sands.
She just went through it, and that's big because it allows him to get Sands. Backpoint on the pitch, he tried to make that judge work. Yamroll does find the Yumi, at least clears out the advance of RRQ. But the main force, the main bulk is still sticking around by holes instead. So that scout, sure, it will fall, but then RRQ ready to fight from back. Yuki, though, stable still in the shifting stands. It leads to a 3v3 scenario. RRQ reassessing where Capybara Gang can keep from Yuki. Way too ambitious. Iceberg, disciplined, but 3k already. And that's exactly what RRQ needs to move forward to either side.
RRQ knows that they have so much time to play around with. It's still a minute onto the clock, and they know that there might be rotations coming in. And aside from that, they can just fake and re-hit the site as well. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. With that orb being claimed, this would give an idea towards Mike Reffy that there might be someone on A main, not just one, maybe majority of the players. But what a shot! Really canceling out the play here from the side of RRQ. Mike Reffy with a double kill already. Now on to the last player. They know it's on A main. He's waiting, rather she's waiting for that trade-off. That's gonna be the killjoy. Izzy to take on the kill. Good execution from Capybara.
A glimpse and a shot! Ridiculous! Well done there by Capybara Gang. Just didn't get scared of looking into the holes there. And as soon as that jiggle found Icebergs getting ready to throw out, I believe, the fault line towards the site. Just the call to shoot that quickly, the call to reposition safely. Those are the moments you can see that Capybara Gang has it in them to fight on back. Then you move, of course, earlier into the round. They cleared out the Yumi first. It was a good try there from Pitchy. She's gonna go for the judge yet again, this time on site. Usually you see holds like that towards tower itself. But the Moxie, it's here from Capybara Gang. The fight is in them, and it's not gonna be as easy as RRQ thinks, and especially now with, what, a Stinger and a few sheriffs to work with.
And it's so difficult to hold on to a judge, especially in that kind of aggressive space, and especially knowing that they have prowlers. You know that you're just gonna get trouble or asking for trouble basically when they spot you out or even try to clear out corners here, because RRQ is that kind of team. Seeing this prowler yet again, they have the showstopper in the hands of Yamro. They capitalize on it as well, but again, waiting patiently is Capybara. They want to go for that 5-man retake instead.
The strength here for Capybara gang on the defense is denying that space. That's what we saw in that last round with the catch towards Ayumi. This time though, RRQ on site. Showstopper, this could be perfect! Delivery though, dynamic Capybara gang! And with the lesser eco, RRQ has no fight in them. The continuation of the Capybara gang campaign continues. Here's Error! Capybara fans unite! I am seeing the hype, I am seeing the potential in the squad here, the flawless defense.
I'm telling you, it is actually our dark horse of a team when we have here, or what we have here in Game Changers currently. And so far, it looks to be promising, not only on the attack, but also on the defense. Yes, you might see that it was one-sided from a while ago, but you could definitely see they have good foundations. And if they can just adjust quickly towards or against RRQ, they actually have a pretty good chance, especially on this retakes that they're doing. They have that discipline already, and it's just a little bit of a polishing, I would say, that they would truly need. Another new round here, RRQ wanting to take onto a match point, Dax.
And it seems like for RRQ, the struggle right now is they can't set the pace like they wanted to a while ago on the defense. They're catching out the lurks, they're catching out the solo players. But here on the attacking side, Ayumi, she makes that space, but Capybara gang either looks for her first, or they find a way to stall the rest of the bulk. It just synchronizes what RRQ is trying to do. Here we go again. Ayumi already tagged through the smoke even. Nuki though, single step, could have seen the Neon coming. Ayumi tried to at least get more of that control here for RRQ. From this point on, he's making that line to Spike being planted. Yamro though with a find on the best. Lockdown though is the call, and will Capybara gang fight it? Yes they do! Into the sidelines here of RRQ. 3v3. Eventually evacuation notice is there. And a reset right now in the post plant.
Alert level 4 lockdown has been placed. Done and over with for the players. No one really detained for the side of Capybara. They want to go onto the side here. It's still a 3v3. Easy with a kill already. The first initiation here. But Iceberg ready for that rolling thunder. 2-man trying to get a hold off the site yet again. Again with a fault line here. They can just delay. And upon that, and the swing from Malika to finish the rest of the players. RRQ securing the match point.
Yeah, match point there by RRQ. In the end though, it will be a critical juncture here for Capybara gang. Maybe they shouldn't have fought it that eagerly. Maybe they should have just went for it. But a half measure like that allows a situation to be reassessed by RRQ. And especially, we saw from Iceberg, had the Rolling Thunder, had the fault line, and they knew that plant was specifically chosen for their position. Yet again, the experience speaks volumes. RRQ, can they finish the job off?
Well, they only have one more round to go, that's for sure. But looking at the utility play that Capybara can give off here onto this round, they still have a Rolling Thunder and a good delaying tactics or a good delaying utility that we have as well. One orb away from that Fade ult and even with the Orbital Strike. So they have so much retake capabilities, especially if they are able to pick up a kill or two.
Yeah, my worry concern here for Capybara gang is one, they're so committed towards that A site with 4 members double stacking from that CT angle, and 2, if they let that spike get planted, Best can just back away and effectively win the day here for RRQ. Izzy though will be pressured over onto tower. We've seen how contested this has been all throughout the game. Shorty in hand, but there is no shot whatsoever. But here comes Yuki and Rapro. Even through the smokes, they find their targets. Yet again, the contest here from Capybara gang. Lovely stop from Tinchi. Always over onto the corner. And they will fumigate the tower to wipe out RRQ. Well done by Capybara gang again.
A little bit too early of a peek towards Izzy, but in the end, it all worked out in the hands of Capybara here. They were able to eliminate not only one, but everyone from the side of RRQ. I really like the decision making that they're trying to provide here, really going for that retake capability. They know they're stronger stronger in a 5-man compared to having 3 players trying to retake and really go aggressive. RRQ is aggressive enough already, and like we are seeing right now, Ayumi is having a hard time trying to find a pick because there's no one onto the site.
There's no one there to basically catch out in the 1v1. And that's exactly the point here. Capybara Gang playing away to the strengths of what RRQ brings to the table. And here we go again. Now then, through the wall even! The double up is true, and Mike Creffy is there for you. Ayumi goes down. RRQ yet again losing the tip of the spear that buys them all the space in the world for it.
They do have the orbital strike though, can clear out angles and can play for the post plant, that's for sure, but this alarm bot will definitely detect some of the players here of RRQ. It's actually everyone. Yuki already shutting down one. That's gonna be Nabsky. Aloka to swing out as she sees Izzy. There's not gonna be a trade. It's gonna be a double kill for Izzy and Yuki to finish things off. A flawless round coming in from Capybara Gang right here. I'm a fan.
We told you guys don't sleep on Capybara Gang right here, right now. This is one of those teams that might surprise you. Sometimes you look at the leaderboard, right? It's just like, okay, 7th, 8th place down there. Sure, that's nothing, right? Then you look at who they played against. You look who's still in the bracket, and it's just, okay, I see some interest. I see what's going on. I see the potential. When we're looking at the CAP, YBAR Gang right now, it's just, honestly, this defense is so well crafted versus RRQ. We keep talking about how Ayumi is one of those targets, but the other side of the coin is how they're hanging back away from the book, because it's not just Ayumi, of course, who does things for RRQ Kaguya. Aloka has been effective. Nabsky, Iceberg, especially with how they're going for those kind of setups. And that is the main force, especially into bringing that objective towards the site. What Capybara Gang does is they're able to stall that book out. They're able to find opportunities in moving around the map. And we've seen from the first half alone, Taylor, their map control has been relatively on par to RRQ. It's just really the numbers that allowed RRQ that advantage in the first half here. The second, it's Capybara positioned with majority instead.
I mean, again, we talked about the composition that they had right here. And for Capybara on the defense itself, it's a lot of utility play that RRQ has to be careful for. But again, after that timeout, we might see something different here from RRQ's side, especially on the post plant they want to do, and especially the Capybara Gang doesn't want to go close to them. Overdrive already online here. Prowler being set upon, and Ayumi to go down together with Iceberg even. They still have a lockdown to set in place if they want to do a retake or make a retake happen, but we can already see a 2-man, a 3-man disadvantage here on RRQ side, Dax.
Ayumi, there's just too many people to deal with! Capybara Gang is a gang for good reason! They're ready to hit the streets of Fracture! Orbital Strike though burns down Yam Roacher, but with 6 HP, a single swing, a single bullet, that should be enough to get the takedown and get the round! The ambition of RRQ is stifled at the start with Capybara Gang holding hands, singing Kumbaya, and just holding together.
Damn, you even know what song they actually sing, Dax.
I went to a campfire once. I got with my 10 mosquitoes. It wasn't the best time.
At least it's only 10, my dude. It could have been worse.
Yeah,
I know someone who had so much. Not gonna name her anyway, but it's Yulia. Anyway.
Yeah, shoutouts to the EMEA side of it. But I just want to say, you know who had a worse time there? Ayumi. You expect 1, 2 people top. Go. But that was a majority. That was a many.
That was 4 people, dude. That was everyone on the team. They know how to go up against RRQ. They know how to go up against Ayumi, and Ayumi just couldn't find the space to actually make a play happen here.
Yeah, isn't that the thing though? RRQ Kaguya, you go back to their alter ego Celestes, and everyone has made them the standard. Everyone has looked at their VODs. Everyone has watched how they play. And despite that small roster adjustment, you can still feel the core, the heart of RRQ Kaguya as that alter ego Celeste roster. So if you've done the homework, especially if you're one of the teams looking to face off against them, you can see some of these tendencies, and you can see somehow Capybara Gang has found a comfortable way to deal with Fracture. This is the map pick, by the way, from this rotation as RRQ set up again towards that B site. They get it for free, but the spike's nowhere there, and Capybara Gang, they're hanging around CT instead. They go for the fake though, but look at Capybara Gang. They still have ways to sneak sniff this out here, Taylor.
They're really just in the middle, really waiting patiently. You just
They're aware.
cannot outplay them when
30
it comes
seconds
to
left.
rotations here because everyone is really taking care of the site. And yet again, delaying.
Oh no,
Ayumi's
Ayumi.
positioning though is so good. Trigger discipline is what we are getting right now. And this might be big for RRQ. This might be the winning moment, Dax.
The biggest backstab perhaps here of Ayumi's rounds. And Mike Greffy will find two. Eventually, Ayumi's in position, but Capybara Gang
enemy
has
remaining.
already advanced far forward. They clean up the back line. They're looking to clean up the front line too. Alaka just barely missing onto anyone else. They just go by each other. But Capybara Gang just outmaneuvers RRQ yet again. They stayed in the middle and they knew it. That this was where they can go. This is where they can conquer. And this is how they're bringing back these rounds.
It's not working out, Dax. The thing is, RRQ changed up the pacing here. They wanted Ayumi to clear out B side. He came, or rather, she rather came all the way from B side, clearing out the angles here and there, and really going in for this huge flank. But the thing is, again, she couldn't find the initial pick-offs that she was looking at. And I feel like for that round, imagine if it wasn't trigger discipline, but actually punishing one player away and putting pressure towards Capybara and their retake possibility or retake capability during that time that they had to figure out and they had to wait on the flank and kill Ayumi again. It can be straining for Capybara, but that's not the story. Again, RRQ. That was the biggest flank, but in the end, it was just shut down by Capybara Gang.
Yeah, it's a matter of timing. I get your point there, Taylor. She could have pulled away the tension if one or two went down early on. But then again, you also got Capybara Gang and what they did right. As soon as they got that intel, they already navigating towards that A side. As soon as they heard that plant going, they advanced. There was no hesitation whatsoever that this is what they needed to clear out. It was crystal clear for Capybara Gang where they needed to go, what they needed to do. And especially when they figured out that Aliko, or Ayumi rather, was behind them, it was enough for them to feel that kind of confidence to keep on advancing. This is a team that knows their stuff right now, and they're putting a squad like RRQ Kaguya to the test from the first map alone.
Especially if someone's defusing the spike. There's literally 3 players from Capybara Gang looking straight at you. But here we go as we see the Nightfall. Ayumi yet again to take on the site here, setting up the traps, or rather setting off the traps from Capybara's side. But we are looking at a bigger flank here, but this time onto Capybara.
Yeah, RRQ lands immediately. They say screw it, final fight here. But Yamroll yet again absolutely on the roll. Besto finds my Greffy, but doesn't realize, is he still there? The double up yet again, working on the Capybara Gang. Time to fly with a showstopper, but the wraparound from Ayumi will be the call. Slow walk right now, just to get the angle yet again. Pitchy on the defuse, but the Rolling Thunder is the call for the delay. Natsuki though, catching that kill on the Yamroll. Capybara Gang still with the high ground, and it's Iceberg versus the world, but the weight of that world will collapse on her shoulders. This is another one done by Capybara Gang. Do you believe now here, Taylor?
My god, this game, we were already expecting Capybara as a dark horse of a team, right? But I am not expecting, especially for RRQ, especially when they are on a match point like this, you just have that comfortability of a team, the certainty of being secured onto that overtime. But Capybara, the more that you get closer to the match point, the more that they go on and really step on the gas pedal here. Capybara Gang really showing up today and really going through this map that if I'm not mistaken, RRQ pick.
I think it's Capybara.
It's
Gang.
Capybara pick, but
I believe so, but you can see, right? They haven't played it as of yet. I get it, Taylor, because they haven't played it in the Swiss stage as of yet. RRQ beat a powerhouse like Orangutan in it. And then you look at it in terms of the stats, it's like, why are we seeing this map of all things? But it just goes to show, Capybara Gang have only given RRQ 2 rounds on the attacking side. Okay. One away from forcing out overtime. Yamroll though advancing here. A little ambitious, a little eager to try and get these takedowns. We see it though, the cross courtesy of RRQ. Ayumi finally getting her objective done, and this is what RRQ has been looking for all throughout the game. Kagura now with the advance. Ayumi gets a 2K along the way, and into the corner. Yamroll though, keeping pressure, keeping alive. Bess is just right beside him, but Izzy's there for cover yet again. Trade for trade that Capybara Gang is still able to keep up on. RRQ on the retreat to go for B instead.
Aloka, very low in HP though. 15 HP remaining for her. And the thing is, she still has a lockdown that they can play out. And I feel like they are actually going to play that out. Especially this is going to be the final round. Creating and maintaining that space, especially for Napski to plant the spike. But so far, Capybara, the positioning is great here. They can still stop them on their toes again. Napski taking a little bit of a damage here. 59 HP remaining onto her. 13 seconds to plant the spike. It is so much pressure here, Dax. We might be seeing an overtime here, but Napski already putting down the spike. Aloka to go down, and Yamroll slowly pushing in, just using his satchel, play even and easy to take on the terrain. What a round from Capybara. We're going to overtime.
Capybara, the hype is unreal right now. We go to OT, we go again, and yet again, you can see that how Capybara gang pressures RRQ in these kind of situations. That was the perfect round for RRQ at the start. You finally get a Yumi's flank to work, a Yumi's advance to actually get those takedowns, but you still get the trades, you still sub someone towards tower, you still have an angle towards that A main to keep an eye out from Link. And you're able to effectively isolate those duels at the very end because you time it right where RRQ is forced to plant that spike or forfeit the round. This Capybara gang squadron, especially on the defense, has been absolutely sublime in trading, in positioning, and in getting in the way of what RRQ wants to do. Their anticipation has been their strongest suit so far. But this is now where the test really lies here, Taylor, on the attack. Can they figure it out from their mistakes from the first half?
Exactly, especially knowing Capybara from a while ago, especially when they were on the attack here, really had a difficult time. It really is a comeback as of the moment. And I feel like at some point, at some degree, this has to take toll towards RRQ's side, right?
We'll see though. Endurance has been one of the strongest points of RRQ Kaguya. I still remember that series versus X and Sapphire when they were Alter Ego, that comeback on the stand. There always is a chance for RRQ to finish the job off. It's more so the test for Capybara gang. If they can weather the storm of these rounds, it still has been an incredible map though for Capybara gang. And they hustled their way towards B side. Execute right now, waiting to lob that last smoke set on Aloka with the spray. She has a bit of a setup. Alarm bot gets triggered. Some chip damage right now as Capybara goes for the planted Hitchy. Reposition immediately. Chance here for RRQ actually. Will they collapse on this one? Seems like they're going to wait for opportunity instead here, Theodore.
Again, caught in the traps. That's what happened exactly during the first half, and it's happening yet again. But this time, successfully planting the spike. Now Ayumi will try to punish players here from Capybara gang, but she has to push in. Perfect execution as she managed to take one kill, but Carol still awake, still alive. But in the end, Alu got to take the kill here by Kreppy, fighting for her life with a toggle. Just like that, you have to ping the spike. You have to settle down with the diffuser. Izzy playing around here with fire. She managed to take one, but the diffuse is there. RRQ secures the round.
Dangerous assumption there from Izzy. Could have actually got that second takedown, but in the end, though, RRQ, they had the numbers. They had that first pickoff. This was huge though from my Kreppy, and I honestly thought this is where Cappy G would have actually been able to get this thing, but unfortunately, playing it safe, 19 HP, you understand the fears there for Capybara gang. And in the end, just the call from RRQ works out. You saw the clear there towards tower. The fight is always in Capybara gang right now. That they're willing to just keep the trades going versus RRQ. But that number advantage is where Capybara gang does go for those struggles. When they lose out a member early, they can't do what they usually do on the defense, or in that case on the post plant. And it's RRQ on match point again.
And I feel like they've heated up, you know, for Capybara right now. Not in a bad way, but if you think about it, this is their opportunity, the chance to really take this to another overtime at this point. And being better on that attack from what we saw a while ago is already a good sign for them. They really are just trying to polish those little mistakes that they capitalize, or RRQ capitalizes against them. Yet again, on to the match point. It's gonna be RRQ. And the pressure is definitely on Capybara, but so far, the pressure has been with them the entire time.
You know, I'm gonna say that RRQ might be on feeling the pressure.
I know,
honestly,
right? Maybe
It's
changed up.
That's the thing, it's been way too close. This is their first series back into the playoffs. And we remember, from last year, they won all the opens. They were champions of all of it. in the most convincing fashions ever. And you start off the year like this for RRQ. Of course, it's still a series. Of course, it's still up to 3. But right now, RRQ, they're looking to prove, of course, that they can finish the job off and perhaps moving into later maps as soon as possible. This has been incredible though for Capybara Gang. Don't get me wrong, that's the thing. This has been such a huge step up from the squad from Thailand. And Yumi drops on down. The boom was there though, and it's already damaged done. Pixie and Yamroll so paired yet again. Capybara Gang always in position, always at the ready. And RRQ slain where they stand. Sure push, why don't you, my crappy challenges? We go into another OT as Capybara G. It's just all G and all ready for what RRQ brings.
Overtime.
What a game
Remember,
we
your
are
weapon
having
is
right now
only a
here.
tool.
RRQ and Capybara is just taking it to another level. Not only that, but Capybara changed up the pacing here from a while ago where they don't fight at all on the defense to this time where they swing. And they were able to pick up on those kills. RRQ, they were so sure that no one's gonna peek this time because Capybara has been doing that for so many rounds already. You've seen multiple players from RRQ being caught off guard, trying to make, or rather use their utilities in the middle.
Yeah, really goes to show right now. RRQ, they're getting caught out also by the stacks here, and the pressure being applied by Capybara with that boombot alone. Yamroll, speaking of, shutting down the Yumi. Look at RRQ right now. They're getting dulled by the senses and dulled by Capybara Gang. Ready to advance yet again. Ball fly into play. Push comes to shove. Iceberg fly. They can even take a situation. In the end, though, Nuki just going nuclear. 3 for her. Rolling Thunder at the ready. Ultimate is out. The push comes to shove. And the 4K is there too. Capybara Gang is on match points.
They are
Switching
on fire
sides.
right now. 13
Match point.
to 14 scoreline. And this time around, let's make it different. Capybara on a match point. What an execution of a round, I would say. Really punishing a Yumi here. Really punishing the duel that RRQ has. If you think about it, the Yumi just has never enough space to actually make a play happen. She's almost immediately shut down by 2 to 3 players coming in from Capybara. Same goes to everyone from the team of RRQ. It's just swings or a triple swing coming in from them versus one person or versus one player. You just have to think about it.
Yeah, isn't the question right now, can RRQ actually support Yumi even more so? They rely on her so much for this kind of space, but what else can they do besides, of course, help that initiate with some of those flashes? And that's the thing, look at how moot this RRQ advance of utility is. No one's there around. Capybara Gang instead letting the site be taken for them to go for the retake instead. They do the Desto and Yamroll finding best to begin with. Yamroll yet again continuing on with the streak, and that main force, that main push of the flank already effectively wiping out whoever RRQ has. Look at Ayumi. It's time for the double A to bring the battery to be that power here for Capybara Gang. Power still taken, but out in the open. Aluka caught with her hands up, and that's now down to Capybara Gang winning out the round in the map. In overtime, they take Fracture, they take their map pick, and they immediately put RRQ Kagura to the test and to the limits.
They made a comeback happen, dude! It blows my mind how this match happened completely. We were seeing RRQ, we were looking at RRQ to win this map, this series rather even. And if you think about it, again, we talked about Capybara being the underdogs. We know their performance was good during the time of our open stages, basically, and our Swiss brackets. But if you think about it, up to this point, onto the game itself, I just have no words. We all know Nuki, yeah, but this time around, you gotta remember the rest of the team as well.
The Capybara Gang is an absolute unit, and honestly, I am so taken aback by that result. What a way to win, and what a way to make a splash on the main stage. We'll throw it down to the panel because we just witnessed something unbelievable to begin with series. So panel, over to you.
I don't know if my face shows it, but
Indeed.
never mind. Yours does too, Mika. I think all of us after watching that game need to go out, touch some grass, and take in the shock because it is gonna be the comeback. I think that this is the second highest comeback that we've seen. Oragata did have that 1-11 one, but 10-2 for this year, this is the best comeback so far. I'm calling it right now. Capybara Gang, what a team!
It's amazing.
So good. The mental. Wow.
Zach, I mean, like, okay, I do believe that RRQ Kaguya are the rightful heirs to the APAC throne, but for some reason, I am cheering instead for a gang of lovable rodents. This team is incredible. I absolutely love how creative they are and the way they adapt. Like, for example, their anticipation of Ayumi and the way they were able to anticipate like RRQ's moves through smoke and everything. Even if the numbers are in favor of RRQ, or even if the score is in favor of RRQ, the consistency and energy and approach is still there, and I am loving it. This is a team to watch out for. They just took down RRQ Kaguya. Oh my gosh, they were one of our titans for this tournament.
Yeah, 15 to 13. They were down 2-1 to Nika, but they make that comeback. Yambril, of course, once that side switch happened, did manage to go crazy. 9 first kills on the board. I think that's more than anybody else, literally, including Ayumi. I would be willing to bet. And I think overall, like just that synergy between Yambril, Yuki, and even the rest of the team as well, but mainly between Ramril and Yuki, it was just such a pleasure to watch. Yuki in particular was just a powerhouse on this particular map. We talked about her time on W Streak, how she was able to kind of power them through that LCQ and get them to Elite, and even if they didn't do super well at Elite, still a player to watch out for. And now it's going to be Yambril and Yuki in conjunction along with the rest of the team to be able to just push on round by round, brick by brick, and build this comeback up and just take it into overtime. And for RRQ, well, they had such a lead. They must be like kicking themselves for letting it get out of hand.
Oh yes, and there were several rounds as well where they came very, very close. We were like, okay, this is clearly going in favor of RRQ. Like there's like one time where Ayumi, decided to pull over a flank, had a clear shot at 2 from the side of Capybara, decided to hold back just a little bit, and for some reason, Capybara just decided, oh, well, yeah, we know you're there. And that's why, like, you mentioned the teamwork between Yuki and Yamro. This was excellent in dealing with Ayumi because Yamro was so excellent with all those first kills, especially onto Ayumi. And with that, and with Yuki alongside her, the threat was eliminated early enough. And of course, I mean, we can't sing the praises of Nuki enough. I mean, just look at that replay that we have over there. Pitchy as well, getting such valuable information, and also stalling RRQ enough with all that utility so that, if they need to play time, then it's totally fine. Or if they need to play time in order to get into position, then, Pitchy is there. Izzy, as the last person standing as well, gave a lot of really, really good, like, great clutch plays. But I think it's Mike Refi right now who has brought out some of the most jaw-dropping shots I've ever seen in APAC. I mean, that hold when she was like, she was in hell over in A, and just decided, okay, I'm just gonna headshot. I'm just throw this out there, and suddenly it's like headshotting one of RQ, and another one goes. That was just, I can't sing the praises enough of this gang.
Yeah, I think that at this point, the entire panel, as well as casters, all of us have converted to Capybara gang fans. The MVP, like we spoke about, it is going to be Yambril. I think that they were able to have a lot of impact on that race. Like we mentioned, 9 first splits, 27 kills over the course of the map. And this player, if I'm not wrong, they were somewhere around like 10 or something in that first half, or a bit less than that. But second half, they absolutely just managed to catch on fire. But again, like while Yambril might be the MVP statistically, I think that, like you mentioned, Nika, it was overall a really coordinated team effort. I think that every single round where a particular player had to step up, they more than stepped up. PT, she might have not had the greatest stats, but definitely if you look at the assists, if you find out the amount of value she was able to provide with the Fade utility for her duelist, like that Seize and Orbital Strike combo that we saw, for instance. That kind of thing, it's just a testament to how good this team is. And it's just, I can only imagine how Kaguya feels right now, because they could feel the map right in their grasp.
So
it was 12-6, Mika. Forget the 10-2. It was 12-6, and now it's 15-13.
And then it was an overtime, and another overtime after that. I mean, this is amazing. But the thing is, I'm smiling from ear to ear right now because this is so fun to watch. And
exactly.
It's so fun that these two teams give us this awesome Valorant action. We're gonna go into a quick break, but when we come back, we are gonna go into the water where, according to our casters, capybaras can also sleep. We are going into Pearl right after this break.
wanna get it crunk in the club with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. We wanna get it crunk in the club with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Get money.
Let's get the
Get money.
let's get the
Welcome back to VCT Game Changers APAC, and we are just about to head into map number 2 between this exciting matchup of RRQ Kaguya and the Capybara Gang. Capybara Gang left us with smiles all around with some of the funnest Valorant that we have seen on the Game Changers APAC stage just yet, Zach, and I'm eager for so much more, especially since we're heading on to Pearl, a map where we know a lot of shenanigans can happen. No. That's
Sorry,
right.
it was
10-2.
Yeah, it was 10-2, and then it was 12-6, and then they made it all the way to overtime, and then, well, even after losing that first one, they pushed to the second one and finally managed to convert it. So, just a testament to how much resilience seems to really be in a Capybara. I mean, they are rodents. Rodents are pretty strong. Makes sense. But, you know, jokes apart, it's just fantastic coming out of them. And Kaguya, it is going to be, we are going to be heading into their pick right now, but how are they going to be looking after that loss? Because, you know, that's a map that you expect to win. Yeah, that's a map you expect to, like, lock up, go home, get some food, you know, go watch some anime, prepare for the next day, and instead you're still gonna be here, one map down, feeling the pressure, even as you head into your map pick. So I'm not sure, because while I'm sure both of these teams have great, you know, chemistry in game, they're able to hit shots and all that stuff, mentally, who's higher up? And so far, I think Capybara winning that fight.
You're absolutely right. You make such a good point there, especially since in map number 1, there were so many rounds where it was so close. It was like a few seconds away, or it was like one shot away. Literally, there were rounds that were like so close that RRQ, they probably must be kicking themselves because they are the more veteran team. They have been on that pedestal already. And here comes Capybara Gang, this question mark that suddenly trots on in and, just memes their way all the way here. Well, not exactly a total meme because this gang is actually quite good. And as we head into Agent Select on Pearl right now, we are seeing somewhat of a mirror matchup right here, just with a change of initiators in Sova and in Fade on the side of Capybara Gang. What are your thoughts, Zach, here? I mean, Pearl is, RQ's pick. I think that they should be pretty confident coming in here, but I would have said the same for Fracture as well.
Yeah, I mean, Fracture was a map that they had like a pretty good win for Sinto John. But, the thing about Pearl is that if you look at these Asian comps, I think that I would personally favor the one that's brought up by Capybara Gang, because I feel like the Fade just finds so much better value, on that map. But, I'm sure that seeing this with RRQ's pick and the fact that they brought in that Sova, they have like something up their sleeve. Let's see if they can push this to map number 3, or if we're looking at a 2-0 surprise coming out of Capybara Gang, messing up everyone's pickups. Casters, you have it.
Time to mess up the pick'ems indeed, because Capybara Gang is definitely showing up to the table here. Dax and Taylor, by the way, as your casters for this series. Our possible either second game and final, or we can still see a map number 3 later on. But Dax, honestly, the capybaras on my neighbors texted me already. They're watching the stream right now. They're squawking, they're purring, they're barking. Apparently they do.
I can't believe you searched all the ways that the capybara would make noise there, Terror. But
it's addicting.
I mean, I'm not surprised. You have such a lively neighborhood, that's for sure. But we are getting live and in time for this second game. And truth be told, this Pearl map, sure, it's RRQ's pick, but I feel like Capybara Gang can make it work. I feel like they have a plan here, and it is sound by the fact that this was one of the maps that they played against Global Esports, and they actually took it in a 2-0 fashion. So it isn't really gonna be an easy time here for RRQ Kaguya to, I'd say, in terms of like what we've seen from the stats. They've had a good, decent run though in the Swiss stage. They were 3-1, only losing to Sapphire in some of the closest fashions. And of course, RRQ Kaguya history in itself with Pearl, pretty effective as well. They start off on the attacking side, and something to always take note with the flexibility of this roster. You see Namski's over onto the Killjoy, Alaka's the one on that KO. And RRQ need to be prepared for the mid-take instead here, Terror.
Yeah, especially after that map number 1. Right now, Yumi, yet again, with a jet this time around, at least going forward and moving forward with the rest of the team. An immediate check on towards that turret as well. And with that, this gives a brief idea towards RRQ. There's 3 people flanking on them, and they move faster.
Yeah, RRQ looking to prove really Pearl is part of her repertoire itself. Mike Crafty though prepared on the high ground. The smoke timed so well, and that could have gone nasty there for RRQ, but Capybara Gang have to wait on the outskirts yet again. Flanked though in triplicate. We've seen it before on Fracture. We're gonna see it yet again in time here on Pearl. Flash comes on in. They look to clear out with the advance early on. RRQ realizing pushing forward might be the answer, and a Yumi shining bright here with a ghost in hand. 2 already. Iceberg prepared, and he's gonna be able to touch the back of Pitchy. Eventually, RRQ wiping out the rest of Capybara Gang. And the pistol secured by the attack here.
She was ready to put out the Silverthrone, dude, and imagine just a random player just dropping by in front of you. That's exactly the positioning that RRQ had, especially Iceberg right here. But yet again, that positioning was traded off by Nuki up until the very end. RRQ off to a good start yet again with a 1-0, and this time I could definitely see the changes that they do here, especially having a Jet compared to a Neon a while ago, where a Neon obviously moves faster and everyone else just couldn't follow. But this time, it's easily followed, especially with the precision, especially with the pacing that Ayumi can give.
And I think the issue a while ago, if you look back into Fracture, was RRQ, they played their utility in assumption someone's there, and Capybara Gang said, okay, no, we won't be there. We'll go for the flank instead. This time they can actually secure that intel between the KO and the Sova, and case in point, they know Yamro was sticking around with the Al drone. They just mow her down as soon as she peeks with the shorty. And those kind of situations, those kind of hard intels will be such a big, I'd say, pressure point that RRQ can use moving forward in this map. If they need to know what's going on, they actually have the right tools to do so, rather than just clearing out angles they don't actually need to, or Capybara Gang might take advantage of.
But RRQ right now already taking in side A here. No one really to punish them or react to the play that they're doing here. A very easy side to take. It's still a 4v5. And we all know Ayumi is gonna be hopping out with 3 players here. They're trying to punish her, and that they did, as Pitchy was able to pick up on the kill. This is just exit frags, Dax. I swear they're all just be willing to stay here to actually punish the players of RRQ.
I feel bad for Ayumi. Whether she pushes, that's gonna be lots of people. Whether she backs on the way, the refrag was
Still a
there.
lot.
There is just no denying that Capybara Gang is just hunting her down by this point. And, well, you mentioned it. Exit frags will get nothing. RRQ will evacuate away instead. And
They actually picked up the Spectre instead. Oh, oh well.
nothing better to do in this situation. Capybara Gang, though, it's really scary that they stack up like that. It can go wrong, don't get me wrong. It can actually go to the wayside with the amount of pressure you're putting, but if you know that's an angle RRQ wants to take, well, we're gonna see what I saw in Fracture yet again. Pressure applied, the majority wins, and Capybara Gang moving as a gang, moving as a unit to clear out some of these angles sometimes.
I do love that Capybara Gang basically knows what or who to actually give focus to and actually punish, because they know that Ayumi is a very important agent, not just that, but a player towards this team. Immediately, this takes away the gel, the glue of the team. Izzy, a blind spray down towards Iceberg, still managed to take 1 kill here, a headshot, not even a spray down, you know, a tap.
Yeah, it's just ready for it, basically.
With a smoke even.
It doesn't matter. She knew where to shoot, and the alarm bot there giving the intel. Someone did step forward, jumping to from my Creffy. Should be the intel now. Needed by Capybara Gang to stave off RRQ. And yet again, on the bonus round, RRQ slowly crawling from Link, wanting to play towards A site. Aluka, though, this is interesting. She has a spike in hand here, Terror, and she play towards connector. Capybara Gang might anticipate the rotate towards B. That Prowler, though, fending them off. RRQ, yet again, looking to reassess. Main control, though, here for Capybara Gang. Effective, that's why the stars put, just to get in the way.
Blocking sight.
Still one on A main though for the side of Capybara. Yet again, this is gonna be a sandwich play for RRQ later on. A flash going in, but not the kill. Aluka still managed to pick up on that and still managed to take on the kill, but yet again the pressure point is definitely there. And Capybara Gang, Pidgey with a 4K, and last but not the least, another round for Capybara right here. 2-1. What a round!
She just held down the site and she did it all. Capybara Gang, where do these plays even come from? And yet again, with that main pressure being applied, I think I saw a re-smoke even. RRQ just keeping an eye out so much on the outskirts that at the heart of the site, there was still a fade ready to kill, ready to get those takedowns. And Capybara Gang exploiting some of these weaknesses they noticed from RRQ. The reads have been unreal so far here for Cappy G. Flash comes on in, Yamro wanting to play a bit aggressively. But back to the site we go, and back to RRQ. That was the bonus round. This time there's the buys and the knives. Let's see if we can make the entry work for this round.
They do have the blades though on Ayumi's hands that she can definitely use up. And obviously for RRQ, they want to take things slower, a little bit slower, and at the same time really making sure that they clear out angles as much as they can. Knowing what happened to Ayumi a while ago, even Aluka basically was really trying to anticipate these certain angles that Cappy G is playing around with. I like that it's now named Cappy G. A little bit shorter but sweeter, you know?
Cappy G ready for it yet again, and on the defensive side right now. They have to deal with the blades, but Ayumi sharper right now on the entry. Eventually the fragments whittling down, cornering poor old Mike Creffy there towards the corner, towards the cascade of the hole itself. Izzy though playing towards Link, anticipating any kind of push from RRQ. Plant does come online. It is for that long side, especially in the clear out what we might hear from Cappy G, but RRQ is at the ready. Nuki backs on the way. This might just be the round over and dusted. Izzy, at the very least, still fighting, still there around towards the Link area, but beyond that, there's no foothold for the defense. RRQ should get away with this round.
Alucon just knowing that she doesn't have to fight no more, that she doesn't have to swing out yet again. But again, RRQ onto a pressure here to move away from the site, even though they take it already. But obviously, they want to take that advantage, especially if you let Cappy G have a trouble when it comes to economy yet again. It's so difficult when you just don't have the momentum and just don't have that capability to just buy on certain rounds where you want to buy. And again, clearing backside was very essential for this post-plant take, or rather this retake for Cappy G. But they weren't able to do that, especially with the double swing from Cappy G here onto backside. Wasn't a success, and RRQ, obviously, Ayumi capitalizing on that.
I think that's a lesson learned here by RRQ right now. They realize they might need to put more numbers when they can afford it, when they have that man advantage. It was such a good way to isolate Mike Creffy, and from that point on, the double up those holes enough to actually contest the stack that Capybara gang loves to run in the first place. We go again though. Spike left behind, so you can really see for RRQ, their whole potential for this series moving forward has to be playing for picks. Finding a target, backing on away, and reassessing if ever, just to keep Capybara gang guessing where RRQ's gonna go. Turret though says hello.
Turret does give info towards the side of Capybara, but on the other hand, RRQ, now that info is given, they want to take on the side here. They want to clear out dugout, which is very essential. Honestly, a lot of teams forget to clear that angle out. A smoke, very good smoke to cover in on Secret and Flowers as well. And now push from Aluka. Managed to pick up on one kill, and they now plant the spike.
Yeah, the willingness to push from RRQ through smokes, something that has gotten them to jump on the opposition. And now then, the cleanup crew is at the ready. Here comes the one enemy is perfect, and the intel into the takedowns. Flawlessly done by RRQ. You mentioned the clear that they needed towards dugout, towards Flower, and towards another round.
The majority of the time, though, the amount of times that I actually saw someone get punished from dugout trying to plant the spike on default has been too much, Dax. It's too many to actually count on the normal VCT day. So I'm happy that they're clearing that out, using utility especially to really force out the players here of Cappy G. And I think that's the strength of RRQ anyway, that even though inside the smoke or really being put upon onto utilities, they know how to move out and move away from it.
Yeah, they absolutely figured out how to get away with these shenanigans for RRQ side though. And here we go again. Knife now to clear out holes. They get no intel from that whatsoever, so they know it should be clear. Turret even broken. And from this point on, this is how secure the Sova and the KO are for the side of RRQ. They know now to watch towards the tower itself. Might fall short from the side of Pitchy. But look at RRQ. They're stationed ready for that lurk, ready for that flank. And in the end, it's that front line heavy yet again as we go for the flash peek. Ayumi back to the cover line.
Hunter's Fury being used upon already. Best to have that Cosmic Divide, but she has to fight for her life. Nuki to take on the trade here. It's still a 4v2 situation as Capybara is still trying to punish the side and puncture in onto the side. Iceberg goes down. 3v2 situation. Time is dwindling away. Time is ticking down, and Capybara deciding onto a save instead. A little bit too safe, I would say, and I guess too much pressure on the time.
I'd say it's more predictable here for the side of Capybara gang. They already, RRQ knows what they can get away with the initiators that they have, with the intel that they get. And from that point on, they station players like Best towards the backline, prepared for that flank towards Club. The angles they're taken by RRQ to anticipate where Capybara gang is coming from. And you can see that Cappy G is just not ready for it. They don't expect someone still ready to go for that angle. They don't expect that the trade is coming their way. And we've seen this before on Fractured. The adjustment made by RRQ on the first half, that was what gave them the answer on Fracture to pull away with it, but it just fell apart at the very end. This time on Pearl, will they make no mistakes like that as we go again?
Such a big difference, especially when Ayumi has that support from the rest of the team into really trying to puncture in onto sides. But yet again, here we go. Looking at this take from RRQ. A little bit of a reload and a timing from Izzy to take or give a little bit of a damage towards RRQ's side. But so far, RPG, again, playing through their strengths, playing with how they played on map number 1, really giving the side to RRQ and going for that 5-man retake.
Yeah, but that's my concern. Retake yet again here for Capybara Gang. They have the Null Commando to utilize. Not the best arsenal though. Minecraft breaking the ground to start things off, and Ayumi still sticking around the hallways here. Yamro wanting to charge on in. The flash though perfect, and Yamro will get the takedown. Backside now. Help here by Cappy is flipped away, and Alaka able to just mow them out anyway. Doesn't care about the life coming her way. Here we go with their own suppress. Fighting back, killing again. It's Izzy though and Pitchy ready to receive, but in the end, the long range is a vantage point here for RRQ. 1v1 though, best at the ready. Nuki though try to claw back at it and will get the takedown. Capybara Gang, retake potential is where they do believe in, and they will get the round because of it.
They even get the defuse just in time. 5-2, and Capybara with that retake as well. They were able to really skirmish out with the remaining players here of RRQ. They really know where to put pressure and really having a good read on how the utility play of RRQ is playing around and how they smoke off. It's just so happened that RRQ, again, it was a skirmish. It was a battle of control, a battle of life. And in the end, Cappy G was the one to go out of victorious of that round. 5-2 yet again, Dax. RRQ really has to be careful with this.
I think they have to not leave Ayumi alone anymore. There was no trade. They lost that front line so heavily because of just a single flash peek from the side of Cappy G, and that cascade towards long. You think our RRQ has the advantage, right? They have the rifles, but Capybara Gang is so stellar in the shooting, especially that you're gonna need someone there just to help out Ayumi in a pinch early on. You need to, I'd say, anticipate and prevent Capybara Gang from being in that situation in the first place where it becomes a firefight, because Cappy G has proven that they can shoot against the best of them. Owl drone now. Scouting, alarm bot though. Figuring out the Yumi's around here. There's though. Izzy still wins it anyway, and here we go again. Cappy G just getting away with those kind of peaks, those kind of takedowns. And advantage now perhaps with RRQ. Stabilize and punish accordingly. Open up that A side. Never mind though, Pitchy and Yamroll advancing too. And you can see the shuffle around the map. Cappy G still squirming their way to effective angles.
If it's not a direct trade, expect an indirect trade from across the map. Napsky is gonna be seeing Peachy, and that is gonna be it for her for this round. Best is now planning the spike. It's all up to her. It's Cosmic Divide being set upon on the site itself. She has to play more aggressively, get a pick off here and repossession. But yet again, the first pick is towards Yamroll. 2 more players, one very low in HP, and Pitchy with 100%. Now Best going down in the hands of Pitchy, and it's gonna be Cappy G securing the round. 5-3, Dax. This retake potential that we're seeing from Capybara Gang is just surpassing what my expectations can be.
It's not even retake potential anymore, it's retake reality. You can see the ebb and tide of this round suddenly shifting between RRQ and Cappy G so quickly. The punish there from RRQ after losing one, and then suddenly with, I believe, Yamroll towards middle, with someone else towards that connector side, it's just Cappy G anticipating where RRQ wants to go, and in the end, it leads to those duels, it leads to those isolated fights. Cappy has proven that they can fight against the best of the best that the Game Changers APAC scene has to offer. RRQ, they're honestly thrown for a loop here, Taylor, because their plan is solid in a way. They know how to get that map control going their way. But eventually someone's waiting, and Capybara Gang is just anticipating wherever RRQ wants to go.
Honestly, the problem remains on the post plant itself, because the site is free for the taking each and every time from the side of RRQ. But in the end, the post plan is what is being disputed by Cappy G. Again, with a kill here from Yamroll, but with a direct, or rather an indirect trade coming in from Ayumi as well. They're putting pressure onto A, maybe taking A side instead, and really trying to go in here. With the null command being used as well, can be a different story here. Yuki already spotting one, all and everyone pushing in from the side of RRQ, but Yuki knows how to play this out. Unfortunately enough, not winning the duel against Aluka. Now a 3v4 situation.
That could have been the angle there for Nuki, but in the end, you can see the priority for Capybara Gang. Since they didn't know everyone was coming in from Link anyway, we're still looking to keep an eye out towards CT. As soon as that intel came from the KO, that's when the rest of Capybara Gang did bunch up and played towards the backside instead. And speaking out from Secret, they're at the ready. Lockdown, though, will force Ayumi away at the last moment. Peachy must complete the charge. Ayumi, though, with a takedown. And here comes the Cloudburst recover. Halfway done. He's trying to get a stick going, but it's not going to happen. The numbers pile up. The angles are there from RRQ. The double peak comes from main especially. And RRQ, yet again, take another round. This is how RRQ might outmaneuver Capybara Gang Terror if they can just stack those forces well and stay away from, I'd say, being a little too ambitious of where they want to go. That's where the post-land looks stronger.
Exactly. They gotta respect. Capybara really has a good retake potential here. And like you said, it's not really a potential no more. It's a reality that RRQ has to accept. And so far, they've been absorbing that. Each and every rounds that we are looking at right here, it's a little bit off a polish from what we've seen from map number 1 up until here to map number 2. And if you said they want to play out on the numbers for Cappy G, this time RRQ is ready to answer back. They have like the double trouble setup that we have right here. The buddy system is definitely in place that we haven't seen much, I would say, from other teams, or not really from other teams, but from map number 1 specifically towards Ayumi.
Yeah, my biggest concern right now for CapPG is, will they be a bit too predictable as the series go on? You know your tendencies already for CapPG by this point. You see how they stack. You see how they anticipate these lurks, these rotations. You also see how important it is for them to clear out the site first, because they're very confident in elongated firefights in the post plant. But beyond that, how else will Capybara Gang keep RRQ on their toes? Because we've seen the adjustments from RRQ. We've seen how effective Aluka has been, especially at getting that intel. And when you have Ayumi supported by players like Bess, players like Aluka, then it allows RRQ to have that front line that they desperately need to shield themselves from what Capybara Gang has in store for you later on into the round. So at this point, it's really the adjustments right now for Capybara Gang. It's also a bit of a struggle. You're not really seeing the higher frags that we saw a while ago in Fracture. But then again, there's still more of the have to go on Taylor. Technical pause real quick, but really right now, Capybara Gang, if they want to beat a team as seasoned as RRQ Kaguya in a best of 3 and an elongate series, they're gonna need to show even more than what they did on Fracture.
Not only that, but the test of resiliency, especially coming in from teams, knowing that obviously we all know RRQ, or rather Capybara, had a comeback happen on map number 1. It's gonna take a toll on the mental of RRQ, but yet again, experience is showing here. It's not that affecting to us as RRQ, and at the same time, we still have map number 2, which is actually chosen by them as well. So they have that certain advantage. They have that certain comfort. Especially Pearl is a map where, obviously, for this core alter ego, old alter ego setup, and then now going to RRQ, they have so much VODs. They can be studied throughout. They were the best, probably, not probably, but they were the best team. One of the best team before this season that we have right now. So you just have to factor that all in. And Capybara, it goes to show that if they really did their research, it's working out, because it's actually good.
I mean, isn't it debatable, or many have said really, that perhaps if we saw the Alter Ego Celeste roster, the RRQ Kaguya roster right now, into the international stage, would we have gone even further based on their dominance over the year? And that's no shot towards Sapphire, who absolutely was incredible at beating Alter Ego Celeste last time around in that best of 5. But the results from last year speak for itself. The multiple championship, the biggest win streaks in the Game Changers APAC history. The accolades are there. But is this that time, Taylor? Where RRQ Kaguya is feeling that gap bridged even closer. They've had that roster swap, they've have a new name, and you still know that everyone is gunning and eyeing for them. It's also that expectation for them to bring back those crowns, bring back those championships. There's so much weight on the shoulders of RRQ Kaguya, and the field itself has just been getting better and better every single year. Is this the time for a change? Is this where we see RRQ truly have to step one up more so than ever before? Because even though they're in the lead right now, we saw what happened in the last map, and we see what Cappy G can do if ever they get the momentum going their way also.
In a sense, if we think about it, we have Game Changers Open 1, Open 2, and everything else because of this exact reason. Who's gonna take on the crown? If the last year we had, it was over and over again a championship towards Alter Ego and then changed up to X10. This time around, this is the perfect opportunity for the rest of the female teams that we have here, not in Southeast Asia or in Asia Pacific rather, to actually step onto the gas pedal and really take on the throne. Because so far, X10 is primed to be on that top spot, but with how the performance is going so far, especially seeing Capybara gang and with the how many match we've casted in our live decks for VCT, this has great potential. I don't know, dude. Maybe like 200 plus games.
Look, it feels like if you look at the PH side, it's that whole team secret debacle from before wherein everyone else was bridging the gap. And if you look at the Game Changers roster right now, in terms of the playoffs, we saw Sapphire take that win already in commanding fashion a while ago here on the stream. We also saw SMG have one of the best group stages in the Swiss format. 6-0 against very heavy competitors. And we know this is the perfect time in Open 1 to crown a new champion if ever. It's time though to get back into the game. Enough about theoretics. It's all about the execution here for RRQ.
We're just building the script decks
Yeah, of course,
for the next movie. We're just building the script, guys. But anyway, 6-3 is the score so far. Utility play. They have a Hunter's Fury at the side of RRQ, a Cosmic Divide for Capybara. Definitely usable when it comes to the retake, but Aluka,
oh no,
not knowing there's gonna be someone on the side, but unfortunately it's gonna be Capybara, not expecting this at all. Double kill for the side of RRQ, and now Peachy is waiting patiently.
It's not gonna happen. Second shot's not strong enough from that distance, and RRQ will sneak around here for Capybara G.
One enemy
All
remaining.
RRQ wants to do is make clean, and that's day 2. Flawless round. It was an ambitious attempt from Capybara gang, don't get me wrong, but a team like RRQ, you know how they're gonna advance, you know that the smoke isn't gonna dissuade them, and I love the fact that Alaka just went for the cut around just in case someone actually pushes. Beyond that though, Capybara gang, they have the guns. We move to the next round. That's pretty much it.
Exactly. You have the Vandals already onto your hands, but what I'm worried about more so is the economy so far for Capybara just never stabilized here on the first half. It's like watching game number 1 again. But this time, on the defense, I was expecting more. But anyway, anywho, we are going back here on to the second to the last when it comes to this halftime. Again, still the Cosmic Divide in play, and also a Hunter's Fury here, but with the blades on the hands of Ayumi.
Yeah, Yumi ready yet again if ever they need this for this fight. We saw how effective it was last time around. She brought it towards his B side. The clear is there one more time. Nano Swarms though to deny that default plan. Don't want it actually stationed near the hulls, and RRQ will use that time to reposition.
Spike
and
planted.
put the spike down anyway. Izzy though, high ground yet again. Capybara gang, one more time, a flank coming in from the club. It's 2 there. Best has to be on Overwatch duty. Under really by the point though. Alaka will take the Best one more time. The transfer's unreal. 2 versus 1. Bar non best is best. Alaka though with the flash at the ready. There's the swing and there's the takedown. Izzy falls and it's Mitchie, only one left. Scratch that, no one left for Cappy G. It's RRQ with a round again.
Precise gunplay is what we just saw right there. Everyone was just basically clicking heads left and right here, especially in long-range angles. And the thing is, if I can remember, they really love RRQ as a team. that actually likes playing those long angles, those engagements when it comes to really difficult positions and really long angled positions. And they really shine through that, as we can see. And knowing that this is also a map pick coming in from them, I'm not surprised at all. Now, for people from RRQ's side, they have so much utilities to play around with, especially on this final round of the first half. And obviously for Capi, it's a little bit difficult knowing that they don't have the money to actually have a full buy.
Yeah, it's been shaky here for Capy and all things considered. We've seen them get away with some of these half buys, sure, but it's not enough. The scoreline, yet again, is a good indicator of how RRQ has been able to stabilize in the economy. Even at the very end of the first half here, Taylor, as we're in the technical pause again, look at how much money RRQ Kaguya has. It seems like they're saving even for the next half, even for the next map. And that's just a real testament of how sturdy RRQ has been in these rounds. Aluka and Navsky have only died thrice. This has been relatively clean rounds again and again for these RRQ victories.
Especially when you have that support towards Ayumi. Yet again, we are talking about it, which was lacking during map number 1. And now that they have it here on map number 2, with the help of the flashes coming in from Aluka, and even with the intel coming in from the double ini setup that we are looking at right now for RRQ's side, it looks to be promising. It seems to be promising so far, but it was promising a while ago on map number 1, and that completely changed.
Yeah. Well, as of now, though, Terror, what else can we really say about
Terror to terror as we see the technical pause. What terror? I'm terror.
You're terror. I mean, it's almost 12. If you guys don't know, there's a clock. There's a
clock?
There's a clock.
I didn't know it was almost 12 midnight.
Oh,
I was
no.
just so used to living and breathing Valorant at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's always an all-day thing. But guys, if you don't know Terror IRL especially, every time the clock strikes an hour, a different side of her is unleashed, that's for sure.
Eliza in the afternoon,
Terror in the evening.
Taylor in the evening, and Terror in the midnight.
After
at midnight.
hours. And
After
we're
hours.
We're almost getting there, so you can feel it.
Yeah,
The bite. There's
exactly.
bites.
At some point, at some degree, this will be a podcast.
Of course. And
And it
perfect.
now is. It's a
It
technical
is.
pause,
The
you know?
Technical Pause podcast. So how's your
So
first...
what have you been up to,
Oh,
Dax?
I was gonna say, how's your first day in Game Changers back? It's been a while.
It's been a while, right? I actually missed it a lot. And especially here on the English broadcast, as some of you might see me always on the Tagalog. Well, exciting.
Filipino, by the way.
Oh, Filipino.
broadcast.
Speaking of Filipinos, there's so many Filipino players in this in this season, right?
No,
So
next
many
seasons.
Filipino casters too.
Oh yeah, that's great. I'm glad to be here too. That's true. I've always looked at the Game Changers roster and I'm just like, there's so many Philippine teams here. But then of course there's powerhouses
like it.
from Thailand, powerhouses from, I'd say, mixed rosters. You got the Indonesian squad right now. I believe that's Big Sight, which is all Indonesian. You got, of course, South Asian representation in Global Esports Phoenix, and it's pretty cool, honestly, that there's always that medley in APAC. We're not really gonna see that too often, I'd say, on the main VCT circuit until we get into something like Ascension. But here in Game Changers, mixed regional warfare has always been something really fun to watch out for, and that's a big reason why I'd say there are these top teams that come from APAC, that they are these different squads that are above and beyond everyone else because they can handle whatever any other region can throw at them as we get back into the game.
Getting mixed up. Anyway, thank you for listening to our podcast as Izzy shuts down one. It's gonna be a Yumi out of the equation. I'll look at to answer back. Still a 4v4, but yet again, Dax, the problem remains. Again, the duelist out of the equation here.
Yeah, look at Capi, they're prepared on the B side. Do they still need the space though that Ayumi could have made? Maybe debatable. This is how close the encounter will be. Spamming towards screen first and foremost. Nighthawk and the answer, but the cosmic divide is there, cutting the noise. Perhaps a chance here for RRQ to actually get the punish on, but Alaka a little too ambitious. Iceberg making the trade happen. There's the lockdown right now. It'll buy space. A peek through the wall. Pitchy playing with fire. But since that happens, this actually allows space here for RRQ to do two things. One, get that spike down. Two, go for the resurrection. And it's 4v3 yet again in favor of RRQ.
So much utility in play right now. Alarm bot being triggered. They all know it's gonna be Peachy on the corner, but now with Severe just hopping out of the corner, Peachy yet again to take on a kill here. And Aluka not knowing there's gonna be someone on the right. Still, post plan to take here for RRQ, or rather for Capy. Now they swing out. One is blinded, but Bess fighting for her life, not gonna be able to punish the last remaining player. Capy closing things off. 2-8-4. What a game, what a round, what a first half we are looking at. Let's see what the thoughts of that panelist are.
Switching sides.
Oh, well. You know, last game, that was a banker by itself, but this time, it does seem like Capybara have done twice as well. 2x the rounds, so 2x the fun, Mika?
Maybe. I mean, I was gonna say, like, okay, we've reached a we reached a halftime point, and it looks like to be in favor of RRQ. But what is the score? It's a lot better than it was in map number 1. So for all of those on Copium, for our Capybara again, there is actually quite a lot of hope. And you know, before we sing the praises of RRQ, who by the way are doing things quite excellently on their own map pick, this is quite a map for Peachy on the side of Capybara gang. She has been popping off. She has definitely been the one that's like, been providing like the most value to the team so far on this side. Should the side switch, I'm eager to see if they can do that comeback once again on map number 1. I know it's like, you don't really do these like things like consistently, otherwise you're like a miracle team, right? And like what? I mean, what kind of powers do you have? Would we know? I don't know. What are the powers of Capybara? We're not quite sure.
Exactly.
But on the side of RRQ, this looks to be the the super team of old once again, getting their straps back on and heading again for the APAC throne.
Yeah, I mean, RRQ, they seem to have been a little bit scraped up towards the beginning of that map, but as they sort of went into it, they were able to kind of find more and more rounds. I know the last shot was converted by Capybara, but overall, I think RRQ, they look super consistent throughout the course of this map. They looked much more comfortable as well. I think on Fracture, especially on that second half, they seem to kind of struggle a little bit with being able to exert map control, but also like kind of go for those kind of pivotal plays. But on Pearl, they've just looked so much more comfortable. They're able to trade each other better. And I think I would like to highlight one particular player, who is Ayumi. Phenomenal so far. And of course, Aluka on that KO. I like Aluka on Reina, but Aluka on KO is just chef's kiss.
I agree. It's getting so much value, especially when she's partnered up with Ayumi. And they just give so much, so much space for that team. This duo, we knew this was something to look out for, and it's definitely, it's definitely keeping its promise. We're gonna see if RRQ can pull this win out and tie up the score 1-1 as we head back into Pearl. Let's throw it on over to our casters.
Double trouble, as we call it, the Ayumi Aluka deadly combination. It's what the panelists were talking about earlier, and again, if RRQ can take these rounds continuously, Dax, it's gonna be Capy putting or being under pressure.
You guys are hyping up Aluka and Ayumi, but I'm gonna hype up Peachy. 30 takedowns, twice coming up big in those kind of rounds, and really the willingness, the eagerness here of Capy to just go and push the distance, push that envelope even more so, has been incredible for their side, but it hasn't been enough for the rounds, so that's for sure. Realistically, RRQ looking a lot cleaner here on this Pearl map, despite the lesser scoreline compared to Fracture. It seems like a lot more stable even. RRQ though on the defense now, dug out here for Bess. Yamroll advancing, looking to clear out this angle first and foremost, and the overrun is clear. Capy yet again looking to find priority targets up close and personal. 2 already for Yamroll is a big advantage for the attack.
Played around the smoke successfully. Natsuki already knows where the 2 players would be, even 3 players would be. And now it's all up to 2 remaining players from RRQ to make this post plant happen. They have to put pressure right now. And I guess it's gonna be the other way around. Capy on the attack here, but RRQ is gonna go down in the hands of Capy. Again, this is what we saw from map number 1. This was the start of that momentum shift.
This is where it begins. Capy so crystal clear on the approach and what they want to do. The intent is to get rid of anyone holding close, make sure things like Dugout and Secret are in their control, and use that as a pivot point into advancing away from the flank of RRQ. They understand there is pressure from the backline. They know someone like Ayumi is coming to just kick them in the rear if ever. And from that point on, Capy in position to play backside rather than move towards main and not get caught out by RRQ. That's the adjustment we've seen from Capy in that second half of Fracture. That's the adjustment we've seen from Capy all throughout the series. And they're learning their lessons yet again as they move now into their bye round.
They do have good adjustments here, micro adjustments, as I would say. The adaptation towards the playstyle of RRQ, though, that's been a question right now. And again, a very slow take from Capy, really testing out who's on the site, really getting those utilities as well. They know that this might be shotgun plays, especially with the angle coverage that RRQ can do, because they've been doing it since a while ago as well.
Yeah.
Really holding on to those shorties.
That's actually a really good point. If you're going to play the anti-eco rather, you have to be careful of those kind of angles. And we've seen it happen with the push from main. It's really shades of what they did a while ago. Capy learning to play away from it. Spike now planted here. Ayumi on the inside of the smoke. There's the push to courtesy of Yuki, and the better firepower will get the takedown. Pass it back on the way now. Shot on the pistol, perhaps will do him in, but Snavsky on the board. Yamro will fall. This heaven control here for RRQ, giving them a bit of that intel if ever. Backside right now being held together here for Capy. Still in their favor. And now the numbers do pile on up. 3 versus 1. Navsky at least doing damage in the long run here for RRQ. A third here for Navsky, but eventually Pitchy's right there behind her from below to get that takedown. Decent eco though from RRQ. That's 3 down on the attack.
Slowly but surely, we're getting to a tie here. Just 2 more rounds away for Capy to actually follow upon on. And the take here, if you think about it as well, a little bit expensive on the side of Capy, knowing that it was an eco. Still an eco round for RRQ's side, but in the end, a round is a round, and what's important is for them to take on the sides completely and take on the rounds completely. They even have money moving forward to buy some guns and even try to adjust, especially on those 3 players that died off. But now, an official buy round onto RRQ, a very strong buy from Ayumi, an immediate operator.
This is a glass cannon operator, even no armor whatsoever. Honestly, this is a bit dangerous. This is very confident here from RRQ that they can get away with it. And Capy, well, they're playing with the Spectres right now with the Stinger. RRQ realized that they have to rebuy if ever because of the damage done a while ago by Capy. We all now heard Prowler there's to Ayumi. Doesn't even have that available, so he's covered instead by the Sova. Alakato holding her own. Best is there too, and Link is secured. Well done by RRQ, fortifying their weaker side and just strengthening the formation that they have here.
Good crossfire from Aluka and Bess to give kudos to. Now it's all up to 3 remaining players of Capy again playing for that bonus round right now, and they're really trying hard to look for those initial pickoffs. Slowly walking through and creeping up through CT's side. Nabsky might be out there for the taking though.
Yeah, she's looking for the door, and eventually from Connector instead, especially with a takedown. Izzy's there too! How does Capy get away with those kind of kills? I will never know, but they had the numbers, and they have the advantage to push now towards the site. Barely a few seconds left towards the round.
Planted.
And they will make the plant happen. Iceberg though.
Face your fear!
Nightfall now is the answer. We've seen a strong pivot point here for RRQ has been that tower control. It's been very effective at looking to hold off this B site if ever. Ayumi, though, has the rifle now in hand. Bez has the operator instead to play the backline. Sees is there. Ayumi looking to lead the charge towards hallways, but Mike Creppy is prepared, ready again. Spicy, the jet coming on in, and that's exactly what happens. Up close personal with the operator, sure, but Pitchy's still ready to make the trade happen. All left now to Iceberg in the 1v2 situation. Time running out, and the crossfire can be set easily. Turret plus Izzy equals I win. 7-8, the bonus goes the way of Capy.
So difficult to win that one for RRQ. You have a 6-man turret waiting and standing by for the contact, and especially with the post plant or where the spike was planted. And the post plant positions that were taken here by Capy, the backside and even B long. It's just especially if you have the man disadvantage or man advantage here for CapyG, it's just way easier to take and really way easier to punish the remaining players for RRQ. I would say really good post plant positions coming in from CapyG is really making RRQ's head scratch a little bit or have that a little bit of a worry towards the next following rounds.
Yeah, and the worry is, again, Ayumi gonna go on the inside. Sure, there was Best there for cover, and it was a stellar shot for the operator.
No
but
more up.
You don't have the firepower to, or rather the fire rate, to keep the pressure going in a take like that. And speaking of, no more up this time around. CapyG ready with the rifle. And Nabs can try to get in position. Stellar
Spike
shooting towards
down,
Pitchy.
B.
And Luca also with a sudden kill out to my Creppy. And it seems like for RRQ, they're looking to take a page out of the CapyG playbook. Look for those thrifty kills. Look to make those sheriff shots rather count. Yamro leading the charge. Aluka towards the hallways there, trying to anticipate the push. And Yuki has a different idea. She's playing Protector here, but the timing! That could have been it for Bess! Really just goes to show seconds after seconds here to Theodore. The dart into play, Yamro on the inside. CapyG though, looking to mow them down.
One enemy
Two for the
remaining.
Phantom. Izzy's there too! And this site now ripe for the taking.
One by one.
Spike
They
planted.
really take this thing one by one, and so far it's been working wonders for the side of CapyG. Yet again, the turret to play for contact and everyone else to look forward to City side. And Bess will be seen by this turret right now. This will give them a brief idea. The last player for the side of RRQ is gonna be in B long, playing around it. Still has some stars to set upon. It's still a 3v1, 8-8. CapyG making wonders here and consecutively winning rounds after rounds.
This is 4 in a row. CapyG has just taken command of this game immensely. All the hard work we saw from RRQ to make that lead happen in the first hand has just been thrown away, and it really just has been, I'd say, ambitious decisions from RRQ to buy that operator like that into the third round with no
Honestly,
armor.
Dax,
It's
last
just-
year it works, you know? That's the thing.
I guess that's the point right now. I think you hit the point on the head there,
Exactly.
Theodore. These
They
are the
do it
things-
before and they would do it again. Ayumi is such a good operator player. This girl has carried my ranked games all throughout. That's why I know it, dude.
I mean,
But so far, I guess, obviously, it's still easy to punish someone with an operator, especially without any armors. And I feel like I would agree with you with this. It's too early for an operator, I would say. I would have saved it really when I have full util, full armor.
I think my biggest point right now is CapyG has really searched the tapes, and they've also gotten away with these stacks getting these kills. A while ago, on that round that we mentioned, that the fact that they were able to play towards Link, to move towards B side, how do they even find those timings? How do they even get those overruns over RRQ? And just those small glimpses and small mishaps that has allowed, I'd say, CapyG inside these sites have thrown such a detriment to what RRQ's been trying to do. A matter of timing has been one of the strongest things for CapyG. The assessment that they have of when to go, and especially how convinced they are that they can make it work, has been one of the strongest reasons why they're in this game.
Yamro has the blades now as well to play around with if ever she wants to, but honestly, the important factor here, or the important utility play, is that lockdown. And McCreffy having a pick-off here, or can have a pick-off, can lead them to have that cosmic divide, making things a little harder for RRQ. But a smoke onto Secret, well-timed as well as they push in on the site. Yamro very low in HP though, and that spots out Aluka. That cleared out the angle. Best though with a direct trade-off. Yuki to go down and Yamro as well. Now it's just up to the trades after trades. In the end, RRQ still a 3v1.
Got the feeling here right now, Terror. RRQ, they need to hit these swings. They need to just make those duels happen. CapyG, they got that first kill with the incel, but from that point on, Best had such a strong position from Flower. And towards main now, they're keeping an eye out. Smokeless debate and the Life Busy will go with it. RRQ prepared for a fight like that. And they win out keep the lead alive.
Was that important?
You can definitely see that RRQ is more wary of really pushing in onto the site.
Let's go.
Even
I got
and
things to do.
despite it was a 3v1 situation, they really want to make sure that there's no cheeky angles, that Cappy G just kept on punishing them, and they really want to make sure that this round was for them to take, because up until the very end, again, it's 4 consecutive rounds being taken apart here by Cappy G against RRQ, and this is their first round. And right now, from a while ago, it's gonna be an operator again.
Yeah, here we have it one more time. Ayumi this time, though, might be in a better spot for this. RRQ. We've seen the rotations to, at the very least, keep an eye out and help out Ayumi in a pinch. But Cappy G has just found again and again the weakness of this RRQ defense. Found that way, that path to the opposite end of the map. Nanoswarm though into play, and Yuki actually pushes it. Is that expected here? By Navsky, playing instead towards connector. There's the smoke right now to just cut off the approach, but Navsky, she wants to push it. The stun's there, the Prowler is gonna be in position, and that could have been even worse for her. Capybara gang, they anticipate already that RRQ wants to go through these smokes. Main held here by the Astra, but Cappy G over with a plant.
A little bit too risky, I would say, in the hands of RRQ here. Best though. Really low in HP, but Iceberg to pick up on the kill. Good execution and good support coming in from the rest of the team here. Aluka going for the top flash. It's gonna be 2 players, but she managed to take one down yet again. Yuki to go down as well in the hands of Ayumi here. Going in for that trades, and those trade-offs is what RRQ is good at. Now Best to secure another kill onto here, and again, Izzy, the only player remaining, will be shut down as well. 10-8, and RRQ so far handling it really well, Dax.
Yeah, that was very perilous there from the connector position. But with RRQ able to stabilize and stay alive with the members, and of course keep an eye out towards Secret, that's where the strength of this defense truly applies. Iceberg there getting away with a pick-off from Flower, and from that point on, Cappy G desperate to actually push towards Secret. They wanted to go for the lockdown. RRQ so well positioned this time around. When they hang back like that, when they rail back what is expected of them, it seems like for RRQ, that's when their stability really is strong on the defense. Here we go again though. Blades out now from Yamro. She only has the shorty. Rifles at the ready for everyone else. As Cappy G tries to play for mid. RRQ prepared. Ayumi with an easy shot, and there you have it. Simply done and simply made.
Very open swinged, and honestly, no utility play at all. No flashes to try and peek, and knowing that there might be again an opportunity to have an operator in RRQ's hands, they have to be really careful in trying to swing here and trying to get some pickoffs. 8-10. So far, a very quiet map is what we're looking at. Capybara, they're really taking this slow, especially with the drop. And with this slow play, the slow peak sometimes would go the wrong way.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Taylor. We've noticed from Cappy G, they look strong when they're so committed, when they're so eager to actually push. And now, hesitation. And McCarthy? Ayumi, she was right beside you. Ayumi backed away.
30 seconds left.
Okay.
It's part of the plan.
It's
written in
She's
the
moving
script,
now!
Dax.
She's moving
It's
now!
written in the script.
What is going on? How did that happen? But time running out from Cappy G. I think this round effectively over. The main hold from RRQ is ready. They're gonna keep the rifles. And I don't know what we just saw on the minimap there towards mid. But beyond that, maybe a little high five between Ayumi and Minecrafty back to back. This round goes RRQ's favor though. That operator so effective at shutting down any kind of slow play that Cappy G wants to do.
And I get it. It's scary to peek through operators, but yet again, you have utilities like a flash. You have pop smokes that can come from Astras. And it's such a big or a viable utility, especially trying to cross in onto B long. Whenever Astra just sets up on the stars and pick it up, you can just have an easy angle. But yet again, RRQ is a team that can read those kinds of plays. So even with smokes being set upon onto sites, or even smokes really blocking them off, they have this tendency to actually disrespect the smoke.
Yeah, we've seen it, right? Just, okay, sure, there's a smoke. Let's just go for it. Let's actually get the push going. And CapyG, they're going to go for a timeout since they realize that what has been working right now is they can put that pressure all across the map. Is they can actually get through to angles where RRQ isn't expecting them. And they might give up main for towards the A side. They might end up giving away the middle if ever. But they've always used that as an anchor point to actually push even deeper past the site and towards the CT side. RRQ though, the answer has been clear. They get those early picks. That's what the operator is all about. You've always hyped up Ayumi's operator there, Terror, and for good reason. She is absolutely sharp. And if RRQ is in position early on, they will be happy to capitalize on it.
Now with a timeout dwindling down for CapyG. At least they were able to pick up on a timeout. Honestly, they needed that as well to try and gather their thoughts, especially in trying to make a take happen here. And Iceberg with just the Blind Hunter's Fury, not connecting to anyone at all, so that would just dissipate completely. Nuki still has an ult command that she can use, but this is a C's connecting completely towards Aluka. My god, the support of Peachy just works out perfectly, wonderfully. 5v4 situation.
Yeah, quantity is quality, says CapyG. And there's always someone there to go for the helping hand. Nasty trying to go for the wall bang, slowly for Nuki. Peachy though, going out with the Nightfall, and Yamro, because of that, she's tracking down those targets, knows someone's there on the other side of the smoke. It's all about, yet again, the dissipation of that crowd control. Best now moving on forward, duels inside the smoke, so close to the encounter, but Ayumi will catch Yamro on the retreat. Chance now, 4v3 scenario, Iceberg able to zap down Yuki. Time's running out on Ayumi yet again. Still with a stellar shot. McCrappy though playing the waiting game. They know what that spike is, and then they spam it down over onto the corner. McCrappy with a takedown. He's desperate to find the one on the defuse, but there is no dice as Iceberg will gamble with her life and get that kill instead. Match point here for RRQ.
Of smokes onto the site. I can't see anything, and that would be directly what CapyG is looking at right now when they try to ping the spike and try to go for that defuse. Yet again, they pick, or rather RRQ picked out CapyG one by one. They know this time around they have to clear out these encounters, these close counters, and they exactly do that. And you were right, Dax. The thing is with CapyG, they can really take up against RRQ, but the problem remains is that when you run out of strategy and you just keep doing it again and again, this is a team that can read you out.
Yeah, repetition seems to be the problem right now for CapyG. RRQ, the playbook might be wider. Speaking of now, Yumi tries to go for the shot a little too high up for her expectations. Yamro, judge at the ready, the only way to punish this down, but best of the Yumi, a tandem at the ready. The main has been held yet again by RRQ. It's been their power position, and they get away with it one more time. Napsky with the mow down, by Preppy keeps the fight alive, but with HP, you can feel it's a crippling blow. Mortal wounds on CapyG. No command even from Alaka, making a statement, we're hunting you down.
Not only that, but the Cosmic Divide has been used as well. Anyway, this is gonna be the last round for RRQ to take. And RRQ settle things and settles this series to a 1-1. Great showing on the second game here, especially really getting that momentum and really focusing on the objectives here, Dax.
Yeah, you felt it though for RRQ. You can see it on their faces. They know the job's not done, and in the end, it looked to be a lot more stellar for them, a lot more convincing, especially with that rally at the second half. But why did it come to that point? Why did it get so dicey versus CapyG? Capybara Gang has been incredible so far in the series, but we know RRQ Kaguya as a team that is deemed to be that super team. They're looking for those convincing wins moving forward. Terror on a map like Pearl, on a map that they've been exceptional in the Swiss stage, it has to be something that they want to look even better at. But honestly, we gotta go to the panel right now for everything that's gone on there, for everything that we saw on Pearl, because we got that scoreline tied on up, and I do believe we can head over to the panel now.
Okay, so we might have been impressed with the Capybara Gang on map 1, but come on, it's RRQ Kaguya. They weren't gonna let them get away that easily, right? The score is now 1-1 as RRQ takes Pearl. And we did see, of course, that Ayumi was definitely a playmaker in so many of those rounds. Those first kills definitely threw the Capybara gang off, but I feel like Bess was such an important player in so many of these as well, not just for the firepower but for the smokes that were just able to throw Capybara gang off. I think I have to use a K-Rock shortcut, the Cappy G, off
Cappy
so
G.
many times. That's a nice ring rate, Cappy G.
I like it. I like it. It sounds clean, but yeah, like you mentioned there, this is gonna be Ayumi really being that MVP for RRQ. I think especially once she got her hands on that operator, it was kind of over for Cappy. I think that was the major turning point. After that, constantly being able to find that first blood impact. Even if they lose a player on the other map, Ayumi was more than ready to equalize. Another player that for the side of RRQ I would like to highlight is Iceberg, especially towards that second end of that second half. A lot of the times the spike was starting to get diffused, especially towards that penultimate round. You could just see Iceberg kind of being that cavalry charge to being thrown at the remaining two players from Cappy and just being able to clean things up. But like we mentioned before we headed into this half, Peachy is going to be the MVP for Cappy. Really huge performance, especially considering that last game she wasn't able to really frag out that much. This time though, it is going to be her on top of that scoreboard. Gamberlo, I think, tired themselves a little bit too much after that monstrous fracture performance. Overall, I think for both these teams, it is going to be on par performance. It's just that RRQ looks a little bit better when it came to being able to get those first kills, as well as just being able to frag out in particular. Their post-plant setup was also much better. They managed to get the plants 11 times out of all the rounds that they played on their attacking half. So I think that's a statistic that definitely plays into concern, because not only does it give them a better economy to work with, but also it just shows how much more prepared they were for not just getting onto side, but also keeping the spike from being diffused.
Yeah, and that was something that, during map 1, we were definitely super impressed with the Capybara gang, with their post-ban scenarios. It's just that RRQ was just far more prepared on Pearl this time around. And, it's not surprising. It is their map pick after all. But, I do have to say, and I do have to ask as well, we saw how good Ayumi was on that operator. And I have to, ask the question, because you did bring up Yamro earlier, if this was a question of Capybara gang overheating. So, we saw so many amazing plays on map 1. Here on Pearl, there were times where we sensed a little bit again of that, maybe we don't, go into that side because the units level up. Maybe we don't do this. And I kind of felt like they didn't have the same confidence as they did in map 1.
Yeah, I mean, on map 1, I felt like their attitude, at least towards most of the rounds in that second half, were like, yeah, you know what, let's just get this over with and move on. But to their surprise, or, whatever else it was, they were able to kind of dig in deep and find that mental reset and just get round after round after round. But here, they were kind of feeling the pressure. 8-4 is a much closer score, especially after they managed to convert that pistol. So I think that as a result of that, it was probably them feeling a little bit more increased pressure. I know it seems counterintuitive, but it's probably like what's going through their heads. I mean, I can't speak for a Capybara. I'm not a Capybara. But at the end of the day, I think that might be a factor. But yeah, overall MVP for this map, it is going to be, like we spoke about, Ayumi, an absolute demon on that operator. 9 first kills to their name right off the bat. And of course, this is the Ayumi that we were missing, right? Because on that previous map, she was kind of relegated to that Neon role, but Jet and Chamber, those are the two agents she's most comfortable on. Why? Because she's so good on that operator. Like even last year when Chamber was her main agent, she was so powerful on that particular agent because of the fact that she was able to pick up that operator consistently and hold down the line. And now that you're back on Pearl, where a map where they were finally able to afford the operator so many times, it just shows her true power kind of shining through.
Yes, so much value on that operator, and you just kind of you never ever want to challenge Ayumi with an operator. Earlier in our first match, it was Muffin with the op. Over here, it's Ayumi, so definitely not. We're gonna see what they have planned though as we head into map number 3 right after this quick break.
Funk in the club with a get it crunk with a couple hundred bucks. Funk in the club, funk in the club with a funk in the club, funk in the club. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. We wanna get it crunk in the club, funk in the club with a crunk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Funk in the club with a crunk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. We wanna get it crunk in the club, funk in the club with a crunk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Funk in the club.
Welcome back to VCT Game Changers APAC, where we are heading into map number 3 between RRQ Kaguya and Capybara Gang. How could I almost forget that wonderful name, Capybara Gang? But yes, we did see that Capybara Gang have definitely dominated Fracture in an incredible comeback, and we have seen that RRQ look very comfortable on Pearl. The question is now, Ascent, who takes this map, and is the weakness of the Capybara Gang truly an operator? Because I know it is very off-putting for them to be put up against a Yuumi.
I mean, yeah, they really seem to struggle in trying to deal with her. But you know, when you talk about Ascent, I think that if they especially run that double initiator comp, they're gonna have a lot more utility to try and deal with her with. But more than that, I was looking through the statistics for both teams for this particular map, right? When you look at Kaguya, they've lost it once to Orangutan X, which I believe was in the Swiss stage. Capybara, though, they've also lost it once, and it wasn't a very close loss either. I think they got 13-0 by SMG on this particular map the last time they played it. So both teams, they faced the loss, they got a couple of wins as well. I think RRQ also managed to pull off a 13-0 against one of the teams in that group stage, while Capybara Gang pulled off a 13-1. So they've had good games, they've had bad games, but they both lost against the major teams. Heading into this, I think that it would just come down to, of course, that Jet versus Jet performance that we've talked about, or rather duelist versus duelist performance. But more than that, also, I think it's going to play down to the initiator utility, because overall, you know, on a map like SMG, you see a lot of diversity in initiators. The double initiator comp has been like a staple of the meta for the longest time. But which initiators are going to be picked? And I think that will be a major factor, because, you know, I was skeptical about that Silva pick on Pearl, but Kaguya showed why exactly Iceberg was put on that particular agent. And if they have like a strat like that for a similar double initiator or even triple initiator comp, I would be super interested to see how they're going to be playing it.
I'm also interested to see, you know, RRQ, they do tend to run the Omen, and, you know, our Capybara Gang can pull out the Astra. So I'm wondering if, you know, Bess, we did see as a memorable performance on Astra earlier. If the roles are switched around, like, you know, how does she deal with, you know, a very unpredictable team that this can probably be? Capybara Gang has shown a lot of creativity on Fracture. With Ascent, though, where it's a map that's a bit more standard, I'm wondering how far they can push that creativity and that adaptation, especially since, you know, RRQ, Kaguya, they've had a lot of experience so far. They've probably seen just about any trick that Capybara Gang can pull out of the book at this point, but that's up to Capybara Gang, of course. Now we're heading into Agent Select, and as we can see right now, it looks like we're gonna get a Yuumi on the KO. So does this mean Aloka gets to go on the duelist?
I would love to see that. But talking about duelist, Nuki on that Reina, this is one of my personal favorites, because I believe that when she did start out with Arakat Aresta like a couple of years ago, she was that Reina main coming in for them. Now though, it seems like for the side, they've given up on that double initiator pick. They are going all the way. They are committing to this. And it's even more interesting considering that they are going to be on defense. Exactly. Interesting is the perfect word here, because they're going in for that double duelist comp on defense where they're starting off. So it's going to be super exciting to see how this goes.
Definitely. I mean, it's a double duelist. It's something, and it's a duelist that we don't exactly see played quite a lot, so it seems to be a comfort pick for Nuki. We're gonna see how comfortable the Capybara Gang can actually be on Ascent up against one of the titans of this stage, RRQ Kaguya. Casters, over to you guys.
You guys talk about comfort over there. Did you expect this series to go this long? Did you expect to hit the midnight oil here at Game Changers APAC Open 1? Welcome back though, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daxi Terror, and we got one more map for you. RRQ Kaguya versus Capybara Gang, and you can see it, a bit of a shift for RRQ, a double duelist instead for Cappy G.
Happy to see actually Aloka on the duelist this time around. Like I said, when we were studying these teams, Aloka is primed, or rather, way back before. I know that this player wants to be a duelist, and she has the heart of a duelist. So I'm quite excited to see what will happen and what would change up or switch up when it comes to RRQ side, knowing that they swapped out, especially on Ayumi and Aloka, on the roles specifically. But yet again, like you said, Dax, they're starting things off with a double duelist here on the defense. Quite interesting, but yet again, it works.
Yeah, it's such a big gamble, and in all honesty, I think for Cappy G, it's really just the history they had in the Swiss stage. We saw a while back. They got 0-13 versus Team SMG, one of their biggest losses so far in the tournament. And they were running that KO on the other side when they felt comfortable to run that double duelist against a team named Team Chaotic. It was 13-1 instead, so perhaps here for CapyG, moving forward now, especially against RRQ, they need that confidence. They need that comfort pick. Knowing the fact that RRQ had their number in the second map because of that operator and because of the adjustments, one more wrench to throw into plans. It's such a big all-in for CapyG as we get started now with the pistol.
Not only that, but when RRQ decides, or rather, when RRQ realizes the weakness of CapyG, they might be able to capitalize on it. But right now, slowly but surely, Ayumi already spotting one out. They know the info that there is someone on trees, but they wouldn't really mind. They want to take the site completely and really prepare that post-plant position. They want to take control, and that's exactly what they're doing as Iceberg plants the spike.
Yeah, they back away towards the site itself. Clear out here for CapyG to check out Cubby, but instead it's Main to watch out for. Navsky still sticking around, puts the alarm bot, and that should prevent the flank from happening. More Soto, the front line heavy. The flash is perfect from Ayumi, but the kill from Yuki allows him to disengage. Goodness, Miss can't get away in time. Izzy is there to make the trade happen, but RRQ coming up ahead yet again. That might just be the problem here for CapyG. You need to see more of the commitment, especially if you're playing that Reyna. Besto falls to the hand of Pitchy. It's 2v2 now. Yamroll getting in position. Perhaps the lineup here. Nanoswarm perfected. Yamroll burning on down. And Iceberg, the tabs are even more so wonderful and stellar. RRQ gets the pistol.
Precisely killing off the last two remaining players of CapyG. Knowing that they got info on A main, they want to punish, they want to puncture, they want to put pressure. But in the end, again, with Heaven and this kind of post lineup, and especially with the post plant coming in from RRQ with the Nano Swarm lineup that they have, it's just so difficult, especially on a pistol. Anyway, 1-0 RRQ again. This is what happened in map number 2 as well when it comes to the pistol round. A while ago, CapyG was getting it. This time around, it's RRQ.
It's pretty even though in terms of the pistol rounds. 1-1 for both maps, so maybe later on, CapyG can actually get the answer. RRQ, you know how committed they are on a map like this. Their executes are going to be as fast as possible, especially the mid to the outlook. Shorty in hand, Pitchy comes up close and personal. If he's there, yet again to make the trade happen. One more time, the Killjoy is that helping hand. One time now to just bridge the gap and move towards that B side. Only one left. They might have seen the Shorty. And Yamroll, how do you even get the kill from that far? Paranoia gets the commitment on. It's 2v1 and... well, that was a stellar shot, that's for sure.
I don't know how it actually reached all, like, the entire bullets of this Shorty reached until market, but it did. It's 2v1. They know it's a Shorty. They know that they just have to play in a crossfire. And aside from that, they have the spray down guns, as we can see. Yamroll needs to push in,
smiling.
and she's just smiling. She knows it's not gonna happen, and like, it's suppressed, guys. I just have to act like I'm a wall.
She knows she got away with something pretty funky a while ago, that's for sure.
She's like, how did that hit?
How did I kill someone from this far? Oh, just Shorty things.
I guess you get away with this round with a clip at least, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's one more reason to nerf the Shorty Riot Games. But then again, it was a decent round here for CapyG, all things considered. That's 3 down for RRQ. They might have to rebuy again into their bonus if ever that's a consideration. Case in point, looks like there's a bit of investment right now, but Pitchy and how much HP did the target here towards the market side have in the first place? Nabsky, she had 46. That's a lot of damage from that far.
Lot. I know. I'm also, I don't know, dude, but I'm also wondering why that amount of damage from that far. Because if it was me, it wouldn't hit at the same time. It wouldn't do that much of a damage, but it did.
I felt like a question mark popped my head, basically.
I don't know. It's just the Capybara buff, you know?
That's true. The CapyG buff.
The Capybaras are watching.
And watch now, Alaka. Actually begins the entry towards that A site. Even stabs a wall, picks up a rifle along the way, but so low on the HP. And Yuki, if she figures out someone might back off away, it might be the chance. Still though, the lurk courtesy of Nabsky, keeping an eye over middle. RRQ trying to set up stations if ever. Anticipate these lurks as they crawl their way towards the site here, Taylor.
It will be a play for contact, especially when they see someone on Heaven as the smoke dissipates away. They aren't actually sure that it's already on the side. RRQ is already taking over. And 4v4 situation right now as Iceberg plants the spike yet again. They have to be careful. Like you said, Dax, Aluka is quite low, and even Ayumi.
Yeah, that was eager though, courtesy of Nabsky. Able to top up and go ready now. Pitchy to take out Pitchy on the inside. And with that clear, it allows KPG to go even further. Just the close encounters of the Pitchy kind has been quite frightful all throughout the series. From that point on, this round goes to KPG to get the board.
Good execution, I would say. You know what? I would like to give a kudos as well to Izengi or Izzy. Because if you think about it, multiple times from all throughout the maps we are looking at, she's really quick on the trades here. Even on pistol and even on the times that they aren't on a good positioning as well. Izzy just gets trades after trades and has been a good cornerstone of the team or of Capybara G throughout the rounds that we're looking at. And so far, performance has been stellar yet again. And Cappy G, with 1 point on their pocket, they will be able to still buy onto this next round without any problem at all. And RRQ, same goes to them.
Now RRQ, they're gonna have some money, but not the best buy because of the early investment a while ago. So at least relatively even playing field. Keeping an eye out though on the ultimates, almost online for both sides. One away from the lockdown here for Izzy, especially. Itchy though, again and again, the taps do come. Seems like for RRQ, playing slow has to be the call. They need to assess, especially where Nuki or Yamroll are. How are they gonna get positioned? And how do they punish these duelists if ever they start popping off?
Yamroll waiting, but no one really to see, especially with that smoke coming in from the Omen. And now with the paranoia, this might give a cue towards Cappy G. With the side bound to be taken away. Aluka with a first kill here onto the back ends of the side, but this Sova Recon actually spots two. They were able to capitalize on one info. That's gonna be Omen out of the equation. That's gonna be best 4v4 situation so far right now. And with the smoke, it helps them cross. Nuki, the Lear, just perfect enough to actually get the angle, and now with a dismiss, it's actually working out, Dax! This Reyna pick so far has been working phenomenally. 3v2 situation, though, it's not yet over for Cappy G.
Oh, the flash and Ayumi now in position. Yamroll's there too to find the main angle. It's all left to Ayumi now in 2v1 situation. Fragment can be into play. Burns down Yamroll. And it's Nuki on the other side. New Leaf, New Me getting at the ready. Time though ticking. And Ayumi plays it so well. Style and substance from the KO. It's RRQ with the round.
Yuki even dies off to that spike detonation. 3-1 RRQ yet again, knowing when and when not to fight, especially when they're playing for time and especially when they're playing post plants here. Despite Cappy G getting intel left and right, in the end, the utility play yet again. How smart RRQ plays around the utility is just what gets them the round.
It just really goes to show they know how to stall. They know how to clear out these angles, and it's really so precise from RRQ.
out of my way.
That kind of position they want to play. We've seen it all the way from Fracture, that they have an idea how to play that post plan. But then again, Capybara gang has always gotten in the way of that. And has gotten so much efficiency with Lear. You don't get to see that too often. But since Cappy G wants to commit, that's what they do so far. Null Command though the answer. The Hunter's Fury will be stowed away. Push now, coming to shove yet again. Alec Yuki with the first takedown. Fly high though, towards the shed. Yamroll up close and personal, catches Ayumi. And look at RRQ. They have to rely now on Aluka as they're on the inside with that Jets. Spike though, left Speedway, and Best needs to pick them apart one by one. There's the first one. Another one here for Best. And yet again, Best stepping up when she needs to. The most important situations. Paranoia primed and ready. And Aluka is there to receive. Well played at the end for RRQ. Cappy G though making them work for it.
Best for RRQ, best for everyone is what we're looking at right here, especially with those setups. It really helped a lot, and really this initial two pickoffs on to the defense itself really opened up completely for RRQ to take on the rounds. 4-1. Again, Odin being placed out or being played out right now by Capybara gang onto Peachy, and might get some kills, I would say, but some or majority of the players would expect this a little bit.
It's a scent. What do you expect? Someone's gonna look for the wall bang.
Of course.
Oh, and that's just what he wants to do. The double duelist, they want to fight. Ayumi, though, ready to stand her ground. From that point on, Yuki actually did get the orb because of the pressure from RRQ. She's only at 13 HP. The single bullet's enough to give the advantage here to RRQ. Playing for mid yet again. Nabs leaves Izzy. And another one here for RRQ.
Oh my god! Nabsky getting on that kill. Yuki, though, needs just one support or even one kill and she would be back on track with 100 HP. She just has to decision or have a good decision here or the right timing towards RRQ's side. Iceberg planting the spike. They have so much util for that post plant. They have a lockdown and even a Hunter's Fury to play, but Richie with the Odin play again, capitalizing on the walls here.
We knew it was coming. We knew it was gonna happen, and eventually the scam game will like get the take down. But here we have it. Ayumi finally confirming the kill onto Yuki. There's Gravity Well. Flash is gonna be the response, keeping them alive. Lockdown zone barely makes the marker happen. My Kreffy caught out with her hands up, but it's effectively now the Odin looking to play the Vanguard. The flank though might be perfect for Navs. Playing towards doorway. Best yet again wins it out. One more chance and one more time. Time thinking, running on out inside the smoke. There's the spray sound. And Navsky, you gotta look for her. And Navsky will find her there at the end. It's RRQ getting out to 5.
It was gonna be a stick. They didn't have a choice, but in the end, not enough time. And aside from that, the pressure from Navsky and the smoke will dissipate anytime soon. Really not enough. But look at this. Ayumi playing in really on the pixel angles, especially playing around the pressure of the time. Coming in from the lockdown here, knowing that it would pop off in just a few seconds. And again, that amount of pressure, KPG just couldn't answer back. 5-1. And so far right now, it's been a bit of a hiccup when it comes to the economy side of KPG as they just go on and buy some Spectres, or rather not the Spectre, but the Stinger and some Sheriff here.
Yeah, they're just looking for taps right now in KPG. Unfortunately, perhaps this is where inexperience is starting to haunt them. RRQ, much more so that well-oiled machine and how they're taking these sites. Yet again, the reads right now from RRQ looking even better. Alaka though, ready to lead the charge. Timing is everything here for my Kreffy. Struggle in the last map. There's the pull right now, but beyond that, KPG is just getting maneuvered right now by RRQ. Here we go again. Middle presence here. Navsky, they line up for her. Easy pickings towards the double duelist. It's 4v3 immediately. And as KPG wants to fight, the taps do come. The answer is there from my Kreffy. Makes it 3v3 now. Oh, again, Theodore. There's a flank here, courtesy of Best. There's a Cosmic Device with Alex sees them coming. Already Pitchy's the target. And sure, cross the wall. Iceberg will get you. It's 6-1 and RRQ looking cleaner than ever.
That verticality, especially with the help of the Cosmic Divide, just sealed the deal for the rest of the team here. And really, just the nail in the coffin onto their heads, knowing that they had the discrepancy when it comes to the economy as well. It's so many util plays and a lot of guns or gunfire battles that they're engagements that they're trying to puncture in and they're trying to win. But unfortunately enough for the side of KPG, it's not gonna happen at all. Again, we've seen them have good retakes, and I think Ascent is a perfect map to actually have those good retakes.
3 suppressed.
Really lucky so right now. When do we get more of the discipline here from KPG? They're getting caught out, especially in the middle. Shot though from Yamroll doesn't get the connection. Alaka a step away for safety, but she wants to re-engage yet again, testing the limits of what she can get away with, and it's already time to break the formation here of Nuki. RRQ does make the trade back eventually. Low HP from Yamroll. Watches over towards main instead. He also dissipates, and Navsky gets to the cover in time. This engage is so important right now between these two teams. The lockdown finally committed here by KPG. Just to stop the leading. But look at them go, and look at Best in position. They realize we're not in the AoE. We are safe on the site, and they'll get the plant down.
They're going for that verticality yet again. Best on top of the green box, but will be going down. I think Izzy knows where exactly the player, or rather Best, is hiding right now with the spray down coming in. Very low in HP. They managed to take on the kill, making things a little bit more even with Napsy from behind. Really just flanking it out, working out so great, but it's a 1v1 situation. Aluka, again, trying to hold down the fort, and still RRQ secures the round. 7-1. Aluka is on fire.
Yeah, Aluka's just feeling it right now. The space she's making, the way she's dueling, the way she's fighting. Who repeats like that towards middle? I know you're such a big Alaka fan there, Taylor, but come on, the audacity to just duel with the operator like that, to win at these kind of duels. And let's not forget, I love the fact that you have one best in such a good position and assessing the situation itself. You realize, okay, we can actually bring that spike towards that B side because of the lockdown's position. Navsky's skill with the lurk. We've seen it time and time again. RRQ creating opportunities with angles, catching out Cappy G, knowing the fact that they're very forward facing right now with double duelists. It's less utility for Cappy G, and RRQ is taking advantage of it.
The thing is, RRQ is a type of team that would really put pressure on you. And in this types of scenario, types of play that we just literally saw, Aluka, like I mentioned, is a great duelist. And aside from that, if she wants to take and pick up on a kill, she will actually do it. And she will try to pick it as much as she can. She had an updraft. She had smokes, she has tailwinds. It's just a matter of time to a pressure on this operator. But at the same time, again, the audacity, Dax, the audacity is just beyond comprehension for me.
Is it no shame or is it just confidence? Maybe it's both right now. But RRQ Kaguya, this is what the Supers team looks like right now. This is a scoreline we honestly expected a bit more so earlier on. It's no jab at Cappy G whatsoever. It's just what the pedigree of RRQ Kaguya is all about. P2 back on the way though. Looking to get those orbs. Perhaps later on, Ayumi with that null command or a lockdown from Navsky and the execute. Shot though does ring. Never forget Cappy G is on point with those kind of sheriff taps. A good start here for Yamroll.
If you think about it, Yamroll might be stuck at some point, some degree from other ranks or other rounds that we're looking at. But here, just a crisp headshot onto a sheriff. But yet again, another play that we've seen a while ago. The same execution coming in from RRQ. Aluka yet again to win the duel against the Jet here. It's a 4v3, knowing that Cappy G is right now on the pockets. And when it comes to the gun, it's not good.
It's the cover again, dipping into that pot. And she eventually
remaining.
confirming the kill out to Alaka. We get the Empress here from Yuki, and suddenly the presence of the Reina is felt on site. 2v1, and they know the flag is coming. The
30
lurk there
seconds
from
left.
Navsky. Lear though, preventing that first peek. 25 seconds left. And there's the shot from PG this time. They realize the situation. They assess it well. Cappy G get their second round on the board.
Such a good reaction coming in from Cappy G, especially with how fast RRQ decided to take on the site. Aluka just decided to really puncture in onto trees, get the double kill, and aside from that, really go in onto the site. But yet again, like you said, Nuki finally being felt around this map, feeling the presence that the Reina can bring to the table, especially with a dismiss and with a heal that she can provide to himself, or rather to herself.
The stage is so set when you throw out those layers. It's so effective on that
Right?
east side past the generator, right? And you're seeing here for Cappy G that they can get the advance that they want and catch out RRQ with just that bit of utility. It's such a, I'd say, specific situation. RRQ has been looking to effectively get away from that as much as possible, but here we go now. Pistols at the ready. There we go with the Blade Storm. Turret broken by Aluka. It's been pestering her for quite a while. But Cappy G so prepared yet again for the Raptors retake. Aluka needs to come in big here to get these takedowns, and they want to stand a chance for it, Taylor.
Whoa. Good null command. This didn't get any value at all when it comes to that of a drone, and now Aluka really getting in the nerves here of Cappy G. Finally shut down from Cappy G though. 4v3 situation again. RRQ on a disadvantage when it comes to the guns, but we saw what happened a while ago. 3v2 as Ayumi shuts down PG. Right now it's all up to Yuki and Izenki trying to make this retake happen as best. And the rest of the RRQ team tries to swing out in a buddy system here. Bait and switch onto A main.
Yes. Hit that shot, and she does it again! How many times will you contest Bess? Because there is no beating this beast. 8-2 for RRQ. How? How are you so precise, Bess?
You know what's kind of it's a little bit weird for me to actually call her Bess, you know? Because I actually use Bess in a normal conversation in Tagalog, and I used to call my friends Bess as well. So casting using Best is actually funny. But anyway, 8-2. I don't know how she can get away with this nasty shots that she just did, but that made a highlight, for example, or rather, to be exact. Aluka yet again punishing one player, especially with that Sova Recon helping her out.
There's just no time, really. If Best is gonna swing, you cannot stick that spike. You cannot hold it even any longer. She's just so damn precise. And especially more so the kill earlier on, but now into the next round rather, Cappy G absolutely hurting after what happened. Made that lesser buy, and now lesser presence here towards the middle. Aluka eventually taken out by Minecraft. Mayumi's ready for the trade, though the classic is all she needs. But look who's ready again. Look who's prepared. It's Best. One more time. Sure, challenger, why don't you? RRQ already putting their foots on the necks of Cappy G. With Nabsky in position here towards the corner, an easy read and an easy takedown. RRQ is pulling away from this game.
So far, a
Last
very
round
dominant
in the
start
half.
yet again coming in
Last
from
round to use
RRQ,
our
especially here on the
credibility.
attackers. And especially with the amount of firing and engagement that they can produce wherever they go to. From trees up until here, it's just a skirmish after skirmish. And it just so happens Cappy G ends up obviously on the defense, and knowing they have been separate at the start of the round, where some people, or rather for this case in this case scenario, 3 of them on A and 2 on B, you just have to wait for that rotation.
Really goes to show right now. Cappy G though, is getting outmaneuvered here, and Best again. Always so stable towards the back line. How many times have we seen this here from RRQ? You just rely on this gal to effectively keep the rear going, and because of that, even for long range can anticipate or expect rather than outfield. Mitchie though, caught out by Speedway, but
Spike
Nabsky
down,
actually
B.
has to get that takedown as Iceberg will fall first. Izzy past the smoke, the single step from Ayumi might be a mistake, but Best finally taking down by Yuki. There's always that mid presence here Cappy G's trying to entail with, and eventually now it's
Spike
3 left
planted.
towards the B sites.
Again, the scenario here, the post-plant positions coming in, Aluka and Nabsky. It's gonna be a double trouble, especially in a vulnerable position, but Nuki still managed to dip on the kill and pick up on that double. Now, it's just one man onto the backside. It's a Yumi holding down the fort, and still not enough. Cappy G finally taking a round here, 9-3. Curse Believers anywhere. Let's throw it onto the panel to break down what happened in this first half.
Switching sides.
Well. I think we've had every single scoreline that commonly comes up so far. We had that 2-10, we had the in-4, and now we have the 9-3 heading into this particular one. And, you know, looking at how I think both of these teams are playing, RRQ certainly seems to be more in their element on a set. But there were some moments of brilliance from Capybara as well. I feel like overall, they're not a bad team. It's just that they need more work coming up. It's literally it.
Definitely. And with regards to post plans as well, RRQ just knows so well how to play those win conditions, whether it's playing time or whether it's playing, you know, those corners and everything, just making sure that, you know, Capybara doesn't stick to the fuse. But, you know, I think one question for me was whether the double duelist would work. And I think one, there's just not enough utility to counter RRQ at this point. 2, Aluka is shining on the Jet. She is a girl who is on a mission. Tara mentioned earlier that she is out for vengeance, and she certainly looks like it on this map. She definitely proves that, like, okay, sure, you can have the Reyna and the Jet. Nuki is performing admirably, I must say, by the way. But Aluka is just trumping over both of them. It's like, there was even one round, I believe, that she got both of them in you know, for those first kills. So I think the answer is, you know, does the double duelist work? It doesn't matter if you have Aluka on your team.
I completely agree with you. It just seems like, you know, Yamrul, they're not able to, it seems like they expended all their energy on that first map, and now in these last 2, they seem to be kind of like lagging behind. A little bit unfortunate. Yuki, though, like you mentioned, doing a great job, just constantly that kind of mid-lurk that she was able to bring in and get those multi-frags time after time. You also see that Empress coming in clutch like at least 2 rounds in a row of the 3 rounds that they won, and that's like a testament to how powerful that Reyna pick is for her comfort pick, and she was really able to like kind of lean into it to be able to bring this to 9-3. But the question we have to ask ourselves is, are these 3 rounds enough, especially considering that they are switching over to attack, and Ascent is usually considered like a very defender side of one.
Yeah, well, when the tables turn and when the sides switch, somehow, Zach, the Capybara gang, they tend to rally back. So the question is, can they do it again? And this time push it to victory? We're gonna find out as we head back into Ascent. Casters, over to you guys.
For the last time of the day, we are back with our matchup. Capybara gang, a long road ahead of them to just bridge this gap. It's 6 rounds now. The distance itself. RRQ though, looking to be the team that was promised. And in a map like this here on Ascent, the control has been clear from RRQ. They've been so effective with positions from Best. Utility there from Iceberg and Ayumi. And all in all, the double duelist, I'd say gamble Cappy G has run so far. Hasn't really paid off the way they wanted to. Maybe here on the attacking side here, or they'll bring a better fight to it. And oh, that's Alika caught out early on by Yamroll.
Lurking towards mid, a very, very risky move coming in from RRQ, especially players right now for Cappy G. Knows how to play Crossfire onto mid. Iceberg fighting for her life. They know, and they're to punish. That's gonna be Nuki taking on and picking up on the kill. It's a 5v2, and look at how clean Cappy G is doing this right now.
Yeah. Whoa, it's another one. And it really just was, you got to kill there in mid. You want to do it again? Let's go for it a third time. Let's see if this pistol can be as clean as can be. Kitchi also playing towards that A side. Here we go now. Nabsy at least getting a kill, preventing the flawless. Beyond that, it was just signed, sealed, delivered as soon as we saw that second kill into the third kill happen. The overrun was clear from Cappy G, and double duelist looking, of course, on paper stronger on the attacking side anyway.
I'll say it one time and one time only. They managed to do it the first time in map number 1. They can do a comeback again. Especially if they get a momentum. Honestly, it's a little scary, especially the space that Nuki can create with the dismiss that we have, and then Yamroll on the jet. So far has been performing quite well on the rounds we are looking at from map 2 here onto map 3 as well. And Cappy G, they really have a good chance here.
No, I believe in Cappy G and how they're going to play this offense, especially. It's time to go for those hard hits. You have Nuki, you have Yamroll, and you have 2 rifles at the ready this early on. Oozes confidence right now for Cappy G, but that is a stellar shot for the classic. Nuki, though, lucky to have a bit of that armor. Dash on in already here from Yamroll. Needing to charge and going for that Raptors contest. Alika has a marshal in hand. Nice flash, but they don't really check the side. And eventually, Yamroll able to descend down. Great Iceberg down with her. It's just Cappy G so prepared for this kind of fight. Alika, though, stellar shooting with the marshal. All left not the best in the 1v3. With the classic in hand. You know how incredible she has been so far. Not against a rifle like this. Not against Vandal especially, and not against my Creppy. It's 5-9 as Cappy G keep the Vandals that they bought into the next one.
Now, the next round is very essential for Cappy G to convert, especially. It's going to be their bonus. And at the same time, the stake on the side, it's only 2 players that Alika was able to get away with. The double kill, and that's it. And they were able to really pick up on what they had, the momentum from the pistols. And now, if they can convert this bonus round as well, can be a different story here on the second half, especially for RRQ. But as we can see, Alika really sticking to the Guardian here, really going for that play for pick and aim duel that she can make, especially here on mid.
Come on, she got the taps with the Marshal a while ago. She can do the same with the Guardian. Easy. Well, Alika will show you, but then again, RQ, they do have to deal with Cappy G still having a few rifles in hand. They don't actually go for the reinvest, so it's truly a bonus right now. And Bess carefully peeking towards that main. Retreats yet again. RQ knows they can't overexert their efforts. They need to play still the angles here. Knowing the fact that if Cappy G senses weakness,
they know there's an alarm bot. They know there's traps from the Killjoy as well. But Peachy actually got a kill here on to a main. And it's actually towards Bess, the smoker of the team as well. Helps a lot when it comes to the entry, especially as they're not going to be delayed that much, I would say. But again, it's already a pain when Iceberg is waiting from, or rather waiting on you in the middle. But I don't think she saw Nuki there on a cheeky spot.
Yeah, I was like, okay, no one's shooting each other. Eventually, he realizes the situation and will get away. It's that's someone else? I thought it was a plant. But then again, Cappy G getting that spike put down. Chance even to convert onto bonus. They have the numbers to do so. Ayumi crossing right now. doorway. There's the climb though from Pitchy. Stellar shot now. Sergeant in hand. Doesn't realize, oh, my Crefy's towards Hell instead. Because of that Nano Swarm, and these things are RRQ. All left now to Alaka. In a 1v2 situation, Yuki also getting the heals going. There's the peek into the takedown. CapyG yet again capitalizing on these streaks here, Terror, and that's 3 in a row to make it a nice scoreline.
And before that round even started, I said it's gonna be a totally different story once CapyG actually converts this bonus round that they have right now. They actually did. Again, the sustain that the Reyna has, you just cannot equate it to another agent, for example. We know that obviously it's gonna be the first entry coming in from Yamroll, especially it's a jet, but now Yuki is really showing up to the table, and those Leers has been up top. I would say it hits every single time.
Yeah, just spike down basically, and it's always such a strike hold, or stranglehold rather, for CapyG when they have that Leer into play. It really just goes to show though, you need to perform if you're playing that double duelist, and with this bonus win right now, this is all the momentum CapyG wants to run with. Not ready yet again to go for the peaks. Paranoia being primed. And as soon as she disengages, you can see the plan here for CapyG. Someone needs to go for cover. Yamroll was there keeping an eye out towards main, but RRQ, they want to chance it. They're going to push it here.
Yuki also has an Empress that she can play around with if ever in a clutch situation, in a clutch moment. But again, pistol round only for RRQ. That flash actually popped as well in front of Ayumi. Couldn't see anything at all. And Yamroll, again, seeing one, getting the kill. Alucard bow down. Yuki to take on that kill. But yet again, fighting for their lives right now is RRQ. Unable to make it though. 7-9. CapyG is doing it, Dax.
Yes, here we go again. We're not done with the night, apparently. The 4-round streak.
It's already Terror. Eliza is over. Taylor is over. It's Terror time.
Eliza has slept. Terror is here, and CapyG is here to stay as well in the upper bracket. Time I called by RRQ. It was a decent plan, all things considered. A good flash towards middle, a push towards Link, but it's because of that distance and, of course, that firepower, wasn't enough to catch out CapyG. I do wonder, though, what the plan is for RRQ right now moving forward. It seems like there's just some hiccups in terms of how they're peaking these angles, and CapyG, they're getting so much confidence. You need your Reyna to be near the top of the scoreboard, and Yuki's just doing that right now. 20 takedowns already. Empress available. Big impressions every single time she lobs those Leers to open up these sites. And it really just goes to show how they're honestly using that to go deeper than they want to. They go even further than what should really be allowed for them. That's CapyG in a nutshell. We saw that confidence be broken a while ago by the operator buy on Pearl, but will it happen the same way here on Ascent because of that double duelist lying in wait?
Exactly what I wanted to talk about. We see on game number 2 and map number 2, we saw the hesitations coming in from CapyG, especially when RRQ really had an eye or a hand with the operator. And this time around, RRQ is stable when it comes to the economy, and they can pull off another operator here upon their sleeves, and it might be the same that we saw a while ago. Now onto the entry. Yamroll already closing in on the side itself and really closing the doors right now, but as soon as she hops in onto the smoke, not quite sure why, but Napski was ready to take him down.
Yeah, a little too eager, exactly, because of that vulnerable state. And here we go again. Vulnerability is deniability here for RRQ. Already catching out to Hunter Fury. Now the call. Pitchy trying to provide cover fire from both house. Good tag on the iceberg. Gives a bit of intel and someone's coming from the shed itself. Being still held though by Izzy. At least trying to find the angle. Yuki already pop up yet again. Alpha there to make the shot happen. Pitchy now the only one left, and down goes Pitchy as Alaka sets her sight on her. The operator yet again making its mark for RRQ. Marksmanship to bring it to double digits.
Not only that, but at the end of the day, CapyG didn't have a choice. A lockdown was placed on site as well, and they have to be out of that comfort of the site and out of the way. Exactly that kind of pressure is what RRQ needed to take on or retake the site, and exactly that happened as well. 10-7, and so far, RRQ, the hesitations is gone and forgotten from map number 2. From CapyG, they've been performing so well here on map number 3. We are onto a 7-10, Dax, and to think about it, CapyG, again, unexpectedly really going up against RRQ and making life difficult for them.
Yeah, CapyG has proven they are a true fighter here into the series. No questions asked. This is a team that is actually the real deal with how they're playing against RRQ Kaguya. And it's up to RRQ to just bridge away, to get away from what CapyG is trying to do right now. We saw that, though, for that B-take. So much space being created by the double duelists. RRQ just reels back, times it right. And speaking of it, yet again, I think this is the biggest concern for CapyG. They're playing it slow, but they know there's an operator in hand. We saw this become their Achilles heel in that last map terror, and if Izzy peeks this slowly, Aluka, a little too overeager perhaps, Shorty breaking, I believe, that utility. RRQ right now, set up yet again. This is not just a plan A, there's a plan B. There's someone waiting in by the boxes. There's so much setup for RRQ right now.
Oh no, that flash didn't hit. Yuki instead gets the kill, but Bess, as she swings out, she managed to pick up on 2 4v3 situation, making this a little bit more difficult. That was a map out coming in from Bess right now. And now, oh no, it's gonna be sandwich play yet again. They didn't know it was gonna be Wine here, Dax.
Can't believe it. Best yet again. Outlasting, outwitting, and out-shooting the competition. An ace here for Best. Say yes to Best after that one. Conveniently enough, we saw that teleport towards Wine. And CapyG didn't realize what they were fighting.
That swing though. What a kill coming in from Best. Really, really helped out RRQ in making things a little bit easier for them. And CapyG, again, plagued with a decision here of going really slow and using up utilities again to take on info, but yet again not doing anything about that intel as we see. And again, moving forward, you have to, and you're still gonna see that operator again and again.
Here we have it. Aldro now broken by the operator, but Aluka is still at the angle to just get that angle going yet again to go for that shot, but it doesn't actually get the connection. Instead, Gamro now. Bladestorm at the ready. CapyG still firm in the resolve to actually push this. Maybe Nabsky can break that confidence. Lockdown into play. Aluka walk out by the crossfire on. The spam there from Izzy is pitchy to actually goes for the takedowns. And through the smoke, CapyG
Spike
through
planted.
the veil, but that spike down.
Oh no. But instead, Yamro is the one to look after for. She managed to pick up on that flank. Yamro taking damage when it comes to the nano swarm, but Iceberg, she's here to play. She managed to pick up on 1 kill, 30 HP remaining for her. She still has a Hunter's Fury. Doubt that she's gonna use it though. 59 HP on Mike Reppy right now. She swings. The smoke dissipates, and it's done and over with. RRQ still on the lead, but CapyG making it happen. 8 to 12, or 8 to 11.
That's what CapyG needs to do, though. If they realize that Alec is not going to hit those shots, they need to keep pushing it. They cannot break with their resolve whatsoever, and they are rewarded by their bravery by taking the site and taking the round. Up in hand yet again, RRQ now knows that they need to just keep things stable if Alaka needs to get the hell away. That lockdown was so much pressure, though, from Izzy. CapyG, this should be a herald of a new round for them, a new beginning perhaps, to just keep the confidence going. It's best, though, they have to deal with first. Especially if they manage to get this round, Dax. It's gonna be an eco disadvantage for RRQ. They don't have money at all to buy Vandals here any longer, but a Cosmic Divide put in place onto a site here, already for the taking from CapyG. Not quite sure yet, as health isn't clear at all, and Yamro might see them around. Immediately Best will drag Yamro down with her, sticking around still in the basement. Operator in hand over on the high ground, but RRQ so prepared for this kind of retake already. Doorway pressure from Ayumi. Eventually, my Creepy and Yuki do fight on back, with Yuki still holding down the line. It will be besides the smoke anyway, and Yuki looking to pop off, but Iceberg will pop that bubble instead. No dreams, only RRQ. It's match point for RRQ Kaguya.
Whew. Makes it harder to breathe each and every round we're having right now. Again, if it was a loss for RRQ and CapyG was able to pick up on that round, they wouldn't have money to buy on the next rounds that we have right here. And now it's the other way around. Cappy G, Nuki really gave me hope up until the very end. But Iceberg had the better opposition here, had the better angle, and at the same time, hit her shots first compared to Nuki. Again, 8-12, match point towards the side of RRQ. Very strong showing. Really like the confidence they're still showing right now. And Cappy G as well, being really confident on this speaks. Oh no, overconfident though.
Yeah, a little too ambitious. Didn't expect so many of them. Best though, holding close with the Bulldog of all things, keeping an eye out, doesn't realize. Thinks he's there by the box, but Alaka does!
Down
And
A.
the operator, pretty much a harbinger of death right now. Looking to bring the doom and gloom to Cappy G. Alaka, one more for the show. Doesn't get it this time, disengage instead. But look who's at already. It's Best one more time. Getting the head and getting the takedown. 2v4. Sure, a split approach here from Yamroll, but she needs to get this kill onto Iceberg and fast. Gets it done. Now then, moving forward, but does she realize it's a main hold instead from the KO? Alaka though will fall to the wide swing. Izzy with a solid takedown, but Ayumi playing it smart, playing it patient, and playing it perfectly at the end. RRQ Kaguya will take the series 2-1, 13-8 there on Ascent, and they were able to outlast what Cappy G brought to this series.
A sigh of relief, Dax. That's what we're seeing right now. Finally, a smile in the face of Ayumi. It has been a straight face all throughout these 3 maps that we are looking at. But in the end, RRQ showed dominance, they showed precision, they showed strategy by the book, and everything else is just perfect for them to take. But again, biggest kudos to Capybara. Those were some good games, honestly.
Yeah, Cappy G, well, you have some new fans in the chat right now, and here, even in the desk. This is a team that I'd say can have one of those solid lower bracket runs, and I'm really excited what they're gonna bring to the table. But in the end, RRQ Kaguya, they need to stay in this upper bracket. They need to show that they are back here in form. They had that slip up there on Fracture, but they brought it back towards Pearl, brought it back to Ascent, and we'll bring you guys back to the panel to break down that whole series.
Yes. I see the little bit of
I like the
flexing
flex.
of Valorant
Yeah,
merchandise.
I like the flex. All right.
We should
Okay,
upgrade
that's how it's
Mika.
gonna go. All
We
right,
should upgrade
thank you.
Mika.
I know. Thank you very much to Taylor and to Dax for those amazing shirts that they have, as well as that amazing cast that they did for this amazing series once again. I mean, yes, this did go in favor of RRQ Kaguya. Definitely one of the strongest teams that we have, and they showed exactly why. But I mean, come on, not a lot of teams can say that they managed to take RRQ Kaguya to double overtime, and then to a 13-8 on Pearl, and then this close on Ascent. So Dax mentioned Capybara Gang has new fans in the chat and on the panel everywhere. I'm counting myself as one of those. I definitely am a fan now for everything that they've been able to do, coming from an unknown team to now one of my favorite team at the end of their series.
I completely agree. I'm also now an average Capybara Gang enjoyer fan, whatever you want to call it. Really fantastic performance coming out of them. I think everybody especially after that first game being that 10-2 half, expected them to kind of whimper into oblivion, but instead they fight back. They take map 1, make that comeback, where the most glorious comeback of 2023 so far, I gotta say, and push it all the way to map 3. And the thing is, every single map was competitive. Like, if you look at some of the other series that happened today, you've had maps that were like 13-2 and 13-4 and 13-6. And in this case, all 3 maps went sort of down to the neck. Even the rounds that they were lost, they were pretty close. There were a couple of dominant rounds coming in, like that ace from Best, for example. I think that's the first ace for today that we're gonna be seeing on this main stream. But aside from that, I just felt like overall, both of these teams, there's a little bit of tug of war. I think that there are just some minor issues that Capybara Gang really need to hammer out, like being able to trade each other consistently and the positioning they hold in post-plants. Because a lot of the time you see an overheat happening for a lot of the players, and once they lose that numbers advantage, it kind of collapses, and a lot of rounds could have been won easier in that way, I feel.
I totally agree, and that's where the experience of RRQ Kaguya shows, right? You definitely see more of their stability, more of their consistency, especially as the series goes on. We talked about overheating in the first map. They definitely brought the fight to RRQ earlier, but then we saw that there were a little bit of moments on Pearl, but then they lost a little bit of that fire, and even more so on Ascent. So if they continue to refine this, if they continue, to flex these muscles that they have, I think this is gonna be a powerhouse team because their ideas are solid, their creativity and their adaptation to what RRQ. Might I remind everybody, one of the top teams that we have here has to offer, and this is supposed to be one of our unknown teams. I would definitely say that they're one of the dark horses here for this tournament, and there's a strong part of me, like, they cater so much to the fans. There's a strong part of me that wants them to win just because they are so fun to watch.
I mean, I was like talking to some players yesterday, and the one thing that I really realized is that apart from the cash, your main motivation through getting through these opens is to be placing on the top 6 in either one. Because if you manage to do that consistently, you are going to be probably qualifying for Elite just off the back of that. So at this point, placement is more key than being able to win the entire tournament. Like, yeah, if you win the tournament, it's guaranteed, but placement points, I think that's what's going to really be mattering for this. And already Capybara, they've proven that they're a really strong contender. I'm really looking forward to how they are going to be doing in that lower bracket from tomorrow. But talking about their winners for today, the MVP for this team is going to be Aluka. Of course, just an absolutely fantastic player. Ever since she joined RRQ, or what was Alter Ego last year, I feel like she's developed a lot as a player. I think that especially today, we saw her looking much more disciplined than usual. The biggest problems that I think that we talked about those before yesterday off stream, but the biggest problem that Aluka had quite often was overheating, whether she was on that duelist role, whether she was on that controller role. But today she just looks so much more precise with her gameplay. The coordination between her and Ayumi in particular was fantastic because, that partnership between Eneri and Ayumi was what made Alter Ego one of the really successful rosters there. It seems like Aluka as well as Ayumi are kind of back building a synergy, and it's just really nice to see that they managed to find that balance.
And now here's where I understand that tag team between Aluka and Ayumi, because earlier on Fracture we did see Ayumi take on the duelist role, as well as on Pearl now we have Aluka taking it on the third map. So it's like it prevents that overheating. Whether like on the other side you have Riamroll who had to take on that duelist role, it's definitely exhausting, and you sometimes do need that refresh. So this was definitely something that I then understood even more and got to appreciate even more when I saw the longevity of that role with this series. And right now we're looking at how our bracket looks like after this very eventful day, Zach, and it's gonna look very spicy indeed. I have my eyes on RRQ versus Orangutan right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely gonna be a banger match, but my eyes are, I think the one that's gonna be even scarier is gonna be Sapphire versus SMG, because SMG heading into this tournament, they're my pick to win it all. They've looked super strong. They picked up the core of Brent Victress, and with their already existing firepower, which is like Kohaibee, I think that they're just one of the most strongest teams to be built. And I think the biggest problem, I was talking with somebody about this just now before we got the game over with, but for SMG, the biggest problem that they faced was consistency. They start out strong, but they lose momentum, and then things go really badly, and after that it's just kind of like a very sad collapse. But so far they've been looking like an absolute powerhouse, and I think that I'm excited to see this one. But also in that lower bracket, we have Capybara facing off against Big. I think that on the stream, we're going to be starting off with that. It's going to be Big versus Capybara, so we'll be seeing more of our lovable rodents tomorrow, first thing in the morning, or first thing in the evening, depending on where you are in the world. After that though, it is going to be Orangutan versus RRQ, like you mentioned, and that should definitely be super interesting to head into.
We have capybaras and orangutans tomorrow, so you guys better tune in. And I think, on the side of Capybara, I just want to say that this is like the beauty of VCT Game Changers, right? You get to see these new teams that come out of nowhere, come out with these amazing strats and this creativity, and they manage to take the fight very close to some experienced teams. It's that magic that actually makes Valorant so magical. So I just want to say that is part of why I am an instant fan of the squad. I'm eager to see what they do against Big Size, and I'm eager to see what Orangutan has up in store for RRQ. That's definitely a match to look out for. And I think that, for example, with all of these teams at the end of this Open, it's gonna be even more exciting with Open 2, Zach. It's gonna be so exciting to see all of these teams evolve. This is just day one, and just check out how much adaptation, how much evolution we've encountered in just a few hours. I know this is quite a little while, but
Apart from the first 3 hours that we kind of just chilled, having a mini watch party of our own. But yeah, it's been like a momentous first day, and this is only day one, like you mentioned, Mika. We have so much more ahead of us, another 4 days of action. But I think from today, everybody needs a little bit of a rest. I know it's super late for you, but yeah, we're gonna be having just a bit of a rest. We're gonna be signing off here. It's me, Zach, and with me here is the fabulous Mika Fabs. Yes, I did that on purpose, and we'll be back tomorrow.
One left.
Silence.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy.
Wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round. Wanna get it crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, Funk in the club, funk in the club, with a giddy crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a giddy crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody.